Wow.
Tune in Mondays at noon for The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, right here on Pirate Radio.
Here with Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. It's a great time to buy a used vehicle.
It's not a great time, it's a perfect time to buy a used car from Brown & Wood. We have over 115 used vehicles in stock, and we're number one in the market on price. We have limited lifetime powertrain on all of our used cars under 80,000 miles, so go to brownandwoodauto.com to find out more. 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
The brunch is back. The famous brunch buffet at Fifth Street Hardware has a variety of breakfast and lunch items from 10:30 to 2, including an omelet station and prime rib, and a special Sunday cocktail menu, including mimosa flights. Don't forget, Fifth Street Hardware has lunch specials every day, along with over 40 beers on tap. Trivia Wednesday, live music every Thursday night, and a late night menu through the weekend. Visit FifthStreetHardware.com or give them a follow on Facebook and Instagram for a weekly lineup and more. Go Pirates!
15-time best-selling author, keynote speaker, and global influencer John Gordon is coming to Greenville in March. John was ranked number 6 as one of the top leadership speakers in the world and will be our featured guest at the Pirate Radio Luncheon on Monday, March 18th. Hey, John, tell us more about your upcoming visit.
Hey, Pirate Nation. John Gordon here. I am so excited about coming to Greenville, North Carolina and East Carolina University March 18th, where I'm going to talk about ways to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership, and build a stronger team. We're going to activate the positive competitive advantage together. I hope to see you there. Go Pirates.
Don't miss out on this huge opportunity to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership skills, and create a better future for you and your team. To reserve a table, contact me, Jonathan Ellerby, at ellerby@pirateradio1250.com. We look forward to seeing you in March.
We all have seniors in our life who may need a little extra help with technology. University PC Care's Quick Helps are affordable, in-store, short appointments designed for seniors who may need a little TLC to help with setting up a new computer, help with email or passwords, or help with the latest online scam. They don't need to fear technology anymore. Call 252-558-1280 to schedule an in-store Quick Helps appointment for Greenville or New Bern. Learn more at universitypccare.com.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Good news, business travelers. PGV and American Airlines has added a new early morning flight available now. Book today at aa.com and be on time for that connection in Charlotte. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American flights perfect for your next trip. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
If you missed Pirate Radio Live, you missed
John David Baker, new offensive coordinator of your East Carolina Pirates. What was it like to be thrown right into the recruiting fire?
It's just kind of crazy because a week before you're walking into a high school with one set of colors on, and then the next week you're in a different set of colors, but still trying to spin the same message of trying to get guys to come be a part of something special. And that's been the biggest thing, talking to recruits, their level of excitement, knowing and seeing what we've done the last 3 years there at Ole Miss, and knowing that a version of it's coming here.
Pirate Radio Live, weekdays from 3 to 6, right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 at 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Can you be quiet, please? Thank you.
Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
How's everybody doing?
Clip. Hey, man, good to see you, brother.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
Ahí estaba, en el centro. Hoyo de gloria.
Have you scanned your MVP card?
Breakfast was 3 eggs, scrambled light with grits and extra crispy bacon.
Clip, what's up? It's Bryce.
I know, Clip, people are looking for you to sprinkle your magic fairy dust on this whole thing and make it all better.
Let's get to that conversation now. Here is that.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Welcome in to a Wednesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here with you inside the Pirate Radio studios. Coming to you today on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We're on 1250, 930 online, pr927fm.com. And you can find us on Facebook Live and on YouTube. And I did not see this milestone until yesterday. I missed it. We have hit the 3,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So let's keep it going to 4K. Appreciate everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't, please do so. Give us a like and enjoy the program on this Wednesday and be a part of this program. All right, Shirley Rhodes is here. The big dog is here. Sean is to my left, and we've got some guests to get to on today's program coming up in about 20-25 minutes or so. Ken Watlington, WNCT at Channel 9, will join us on the show as we will talk about what's going on in the sports world here locally and beyond. In hour number 2, we will talk NFL playoff picture with Antoine Staley from the New York Daily News. Seeing a lot of, it's going to be an interesting betting week if you choose to do that. Now that the fantasy's pretty much over, our teams are over. All you've got left is watching and betting if you get involved in those things. And a lot of quarterback sitting. I saw Carson Wentz will be starting this week. Gross. There's going to be a lot of interesting quarterbacks playing with teams clinched. With injuries, things like that. So try to get you up to date on everything going on with the final week of the NFL season with Antoine Staley. Hour 3, Holton Ahlers will join us. He'll be a part of the UFL, and he'll be a part of the Holton Ahlers Show, which is debuting very soon here on Pirate Radio TV, and in podcast form. So we'll talk about that. And give you the latest on Holton, the professional football player. Talk about him going to the UFL. So got that on the way on today's edition of the show as well. What's up, chat gang? Jerry says Happy New Year to the Pirate Radio family and chat gang. And Jerry, I'm going to allow that since I didn't see your name yesterday. You are allowed to say Happy New Year today. But you can only say it once. I don't want to hear it from you anymore the rest of this year, the rest of this 2024. Jamie is in the chat gang along with Steve. Perry is hanging out with us, and we will be checking in with you guys throughout today's program. We'll get it started with a recap of last night. East Carolina basketball team splitting last night. And how about with 5:32 to go in the game, East Carolina trails 63-61. Pirates turn it over. FAU gets a steal and gets a bucket to go up 4. And actually, we came back down, and Ezra hit a couple of free throws. So let's extend that with 4 minutes and 19 seconds. East Carolina trails by 2, 65-63. 4:19 left to go. And somehow they lose the game by 15 points.
And at the 4-minute mark, Bobby Pettiford's going to cut it to 1 and misses the jumper. And then that's kind of where everything went downhill for the Pirates.
Bobby P. Missed a couple of runners last night. East Carolina hangs with the number 17 team in the country for 36 solid minutes. And then Florida Atlantic nearly covers the 16.5-point spread.
They did. They shot the 3 to go up 80-63. And then they took the point off. So that ended up being a cover. Pirates were able to go and then knock down at least 1 or 2 free throws. And, it got kind of scary there, especially if you put money on the Pirates. So, it came down to the wire when it comes to the spread.
I don't remember a 2-point game, like basically going into the final media timeout, turning into a 15-point loss.
Yeah, the final score does not tell the tale of what that game was.
The old phrase, which sometimes is tiring, but it certainly tells the tale of this game. The final score did not indicate how close that game was. A lot of things happen, and we hear it on the 5th quarter, like this only happens to ECU. I'm like, guys, this happens all across the country all the time. This one's pretty unique, though. A team to get basically blown out the last 3.5 minutes the way ECU did.
I went from being like this with 4 minutes left in the ball game.
Now describe what you're doing to the radio for the radio
I've
audience.
got my hands on my cheek, locked into the TV, and then I went from
your posture is kind of
my posture
leaning
is
towards the television.
You're
into the game.
I am locked into the basketball game with 4 minutes to go, and then with about 2 minutes to go, I was on my phone, not paying any attention to it.
What are you, Snapchatting, TikToking,
Snapchatting, Facebooking, Instagramming,
just doing it all,
everything. Do you remember when the Pirates were up 8 yesterday? The Pirates. You remember when they were up 8? Do you remember when they were up 7? And then I looked up, and then we were only up by 1?
You want my radio answer or my honest answer? Or both?
Both.
All right, radio answer. Yeah, I remember that. Honest answer? No, that must have been in the first half.
It wasn't the first
half. I was
half.
trying to cook my first ever French toast, and it did not go well.
Oh, no. What was it? What made it bad?
Well, first of all, the recipe and everyone I looked at calls for some vanilla extract, which I saw where you could do without it, and I went without it. And then later I saw that we had that in the cabinet, and I could have used it. So there was some of that. Might have let it get a little too brown. I don't know. Something was off with the taste a little bit. It was not what I was hoping.
Was it bitter? Was it
a little
not
bitter.
as sweet as you wanted it to be?
Yes.
Did you try to doctor it up with syrup?
Something wrong with with your eggs?
Wrong in what? No, the eggs were fine.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, did you soak it too long?
Is that possible?
Sure.
I didn't soak it too long. I mean, I dunked it pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, what was your base? What was the bread?
Bread.
Like just white bread.
Yeah.
That's where you.
What does that have to be?
I think you need to go with a Texas toast. I think you need something with a little bit more consistency, in my opinion, because I think
maybe sourdough.
I think the white bread soaks that all up when you put it in the mix, and therefore you don't get as good of a piece of toast in the end.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna learn. Glenn has helped me with one very minor tip, which turned out to be major. Don't buy the cheap soy sauce if you're making Asian food. Get real soy sauce. It changes that. It changed everything.
Your sauces and your oils, you want to go with the real deal.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like olive oil. Your money. The more, I don't want to say the more you spend, the better it is. That's not 100% true, but quality is important in these ingredients.
So I'm wrestling with this, Chandler. I'm kind of feeling a little defeated. I eat it.
Did your girls try this?
No.
Oh, they did.
I got them some takeout.
Oh.
This was kind of an experiment on my own.
Okay.
And like all experiments, you think scientists get it right the first time?
Absolutely not.
No. They run trials, right?
Trial and error.
And I had some errors last night. It was edible. Like you said, I masked it with syrup as good as I could. Mm-hmm. But the next trial, it will be better. And I can promise you that, folks. I will get better.
Either Texas toast or Hawaiian rolls. That's my suggestion to you.
Can you make the Tim Tebow
I heard
steak?
you say Hawaiian rolls yesterday. I just wasn't ready to go there. Yeah, I feel like Tim Tebow right now.
Yeah. It's never going to happen again. I can promise you that.
Tim Tebow after Ole Miss.
I might just never make it.
You're just he was covered in the red paint and all that.
Because I had a craving.
You're covered in syrup.
I had a craving for it, and now I never want to have it again. So maybe I won't try it again.
Syrup and powdered sugar just all over.
This will never happen again. I promise you that.
So Chandler, to honestly answer your question, I'm battling with that. I check my phone, and I see East Carolina has a halftime lead. And I was like, oh, my God. I missed this whole thing.
Yeah. I was
the best 20 minutes of the season, I was MIA.
Cooking French toast.
I was eating also during that time, and when I went to go, I was like, oh, I need to check the score, and I went to go check it with 2 minutes left, and shocked because I expected to be posting a not good halftime result.
Yeah. I was very surprised to see that score.
I mean, I think it's more indicative of Florida Atlantic being sleepy.
They were sleepy.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense. They were coming off a loss.
And, Brandon Johnson was shooting the basketball good. Quentin DeBunje was playing the best basketball of his of the season for him until he went down, unfortunately, late in the game. And then, I mean, just defensively, it looked like the Pirates were clamping down really good on Florida Atlantic's offense, and we're doing something that I feel like they've been struggling of doing, and that's getting rebounds and getting dominant rebounds. Like, not even, the ball being tipped up. Like, R.J. Felton's going up and grabbing rebounds. Brandon Johnson's going up.
Brandon Johnson leads the conference in rebounds.
So,
yeah.
It was a great performance for the Pirates in that first half, and really all the way up into the last 4 minutes of the ball game.
I almost think it's more of a necessity, though. Like, it's out of necessity versus it being like a core skill of his.
Like, still looking at that score out there, I'm going, man, that stinks. Of course, we almost lost the cover, but watching the game last night, I know how good
it was.
The Pirates
truly
looked.
Closer than the score indicates. I mean, that old saying is 100% true.
Saw this comment on the boards. R.J. Felton's got to shoot more. 5 of 8 from the field last night. Got to be more aggressive shooting the ball,
especially on the road.
Too passive. Yeah, he finished with 12 points. 1 for 1 from 3. Brandon Johnson 2 for 4 from deep. 5 for 10 overall for 15 points. Bobby Pettiford shot 14 times. Quentin DeBunje was 4 of 6. He had to leave the game early and was having a pretty good game.
They kept showing his ankle turning. I was like, man, quit showing that.
He had sorry.
They showed it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Had a monster block in the game as well.
And so did R.J. Felton, too.
So, and again, Sear, how much did Sear play?
6 minutes.
Oh, yeah, he plays a few minutes.
2 more minutes than Pineda.
Cam Hayes needs to get his thing going.
Issue.
And, he hadn't played a lot. So, hopefully, he's still feeling it out. But 2 points in 22 minutes. And also had 2 turnovers.
2 costly turnovers. So
Pinedo, 4 minutes, no points, 1 foul. Pretty consistent.
You like to see
the
4 minutes, though. I'd like to see it at 2.
Yeah,
I'd rather see Sear getting 10, 15 minutes a game.
And again, we talked about this yesterday.
But yesterday was not a game where you could do that, though, because it was very up and down.
Pinedo getting minutes, Sear not getting minutes. Walker just being kind of MIA. He goes 5 minutes last night, 2 points, doesn't make an impact.
He was a part of last year's team. I thought he was
great down the stretch. When Javon Small went out and he took over a point guard, he really found his own late in the year, and now has kind of lost his spot with Bobby Pettiford. Pettiford plays 34 last night, but I feel like there's still a spot for Walker. So did Sear start last night for ECU? According to this, he did.
I want to say he did.
Yeah, 6 minutes after starting.
Look, we might see more Jaden Walker if Cam Hayes continues to play like he is. So,
and what if DeBunje's out extended time?
We talked about, Sear Malonga's playing time, and Mike Schwartz the other night said that it all depends on how the player is practicing. He plays guys depending on their practice performances, and, who knows? I guess it seems like there could be a different lineup every single game, depending on how these guys are practicing.
Pirates and Tulsa coming up on Sunday.
3 o'clock.
Let's look at some other scores from the American last night. We'll try to keep up with what's going on in the AAC.
Charlotte got off to a lead in Dallas against SMU, but they ended up losing by, I believe, 12 points or so.
We got SMU coming to town, not this weekend, but the following weekend here at home. And I have not looked at the Ponies much this year, but I do think Nadeau said they were supposed to be pretty good. The Owls of FAU picked to win it, although a lot of people saying Memphis as well in the American. So, yeah, SMU wins at 66-54 last night over Charlotte, and it was UAB beating UTSA 78-76.
Bad night for UTSA basketball.
Why?
They lost it with women's and men.
We'll get there. Very good. Well done, Chandler. Rice and Tulane going at it tonight. Tulane entering conference play at 9-3 for Ron Hunter's ball club. All right, to the women we go, and it was good to see
dominating.
It was a clamp down performance, but it was an offensive explosion from the 3-point line. for the ECU women last night, who were raining threes, and they had a little frustration to get out after scoring in the 30s in their previous game against number 1 South Carolina. So last night they put up 82 points in the win over UTSA. They had 25 in the first quarter. They had 20 in the second quarter. They had more points at halftime than they had, way more points at halftime than they had the entire game against South Carolina. And again, they were bombing away from three, and Karina Gordon did a lot of it. She had 6 3-pointers, 6 of 9 from deep, and led the team in scoring last night, the freshman did, with 22.
Can I say it? Katharina Gordon.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Katharina. I just had to throw that out there.
You did it. Well done. When did you come up with that? Just now?
Just right now.
Just right. Not last night?
Nope.
Not earlier today?
Nope.
Just right now?
Right now.
Well done, Sean. Katharina Gordon had 6 of them last night, 22 points. Danae McNeil figured she would bounce back after struggling against South Carolina. 20 points for Danae. No Micah Dennis in that game, and I'm assuming we don't have an update on Micah Dennis, but did not like seeing her leaving crutches on Saturday, while I think Sania Johnson gave Micah Dennis her crutches, and Sania had the little thing where you put your knee on and you roll out.
Yes.
Roll out. So that is not very positive.
That was one step away from the amen. From yesterday.
Amen. Good performance last night from ECU women's basketball. Let's see who they got next. I'm assuming they'll be on the road this weekend.
Yeah, they play Saturday.
And my assumption is correct. They will be in Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
They will be rolling out to Boca Raton.
That's right. Taking on FAU Thursday. Wait. Okay, I'm way off.
Not.
Yep. Sorry. My bad.
Memphis.
They'll be rolling in Memphis. Not walking. Limping in Memphis.
We're all going to get up and immediately break our ankles.
Yeah. Very bad karma.
The karma's going to come for sure.
January 6th. Saturday. What? January 6th.
It's the way you said it.
January 6th at Memphis, 3 o'clock.
We got to come up with a different name. It's just very weird to say it casually.
The 6th of January?
Yeah.
Is that a better way to say it?
Or the day after the 5th, or just something different.
Day after the 5th, day before the 7th. Pirates splitting last night. Let's see. We've got some French toast talk. Scott uses sourdough bread for his French toast.
That's what I'm saying. You need something thick to not get soggy when you do the dip.
Mike P said, I need to have the mentality, first in the kitchen, last to leave mentality. Maybe my mentality was off last night. Jenny says, right on, Big Dog, and base is egg, milk, cinnamon. Well, I had egg, milk, and cinnamon. I went wrong somewhere else. I don't know where it was.
It was the white bread.
So, yeah, Glenn says white bread. Scott, cooking with Clip. You could be the Bob Ross of radio cooking shows.
If we had just truly infinite money, we would have a studio that had a kitchen in it.
Yeah, all we need now, let's throw up one. Well, we need the audio equipment. But then again, we don't have any burners or anything in the back. So, yeah, we need a studio with an oven. Talk to Ellery.
I've seen the kitchen at Chandler's house. And I feel like that's studio-ish. I feel like I could work with it.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay.
We could probably do that.
I feel like it's nice and open, and I could shoot in there, and we could have lights. It would work.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like a Rachel Ray kitchen, but we'll make it work.
We don't have the island, but the fact that we don't have the island is nice because it makes it where we can have some room for people.
I'm not a Rachel Ray either.
That is true.
What do you mean?
You're not Rachel Ray. Is that a fact?
That is a fact. I'm not Rachel Ray. I saw this, and we'll talk real NFL with Antoine Staley, but a little hypothetical NFL. And
Are you talking about the flipped one-score games?
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to do this all the time growing up as a Redskins fan because, like, we would be 6-10. And I'd be like, but Dad, you win that Cardinals game that we blew. You beat the Lions, like all these plays, and I would talk myself into believing that we were actually a good team that got unlucky. So this is thanks to Brian Knowles for posting this. NFL standings if every one-score game was flipped this year. Well, I got bad news, Chandler.
Does it matter for us?
It doesn't matter for the Panthers, and it doesn't matter for Washington. We would have 6 wins. Y'all would have 5 wins, which would be an improvement.
And maybe no drink would have been thrown.
The team impacted the most negatively would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. If their one-score games were flipped, if the wins became losses, losses became wins,
the streak would be over.
They would be 3-13.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
It moves the Lions out of the playoffs.
Detroit would be on the outside looking in, and the number 2 seed would be the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, wild.
Minnesota,
who I want to say were really good last year at one-score games. Like,
and that's Kirk.
Freakishly good.
I mean, last year I thought Kirk was the new Phil Rivers.
Another team impacted would be the Bears. They would have 10 wins and be in the playoffs right now. So, just some... Wow. The biggest jump. How about the Patriots would go from like the 3rd overall pick to 8-8 and in the playoffs?
Wow.
Yep.
If
They would get a wild card
one
spot.
score games were flipped. And the Browns, who have locked up a playoff spot, would be out. So just find this interesting. By the way, the top seeds would be the same. Ravens, Niners, which means they are killing people.
Yeah.
And which means with us, our record's not changing much, Chandler. Our teams get killed quite often.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is true.
Jamie says Minnesota last year won a crazy number of one-score games. Yeah, I thought so. So they were on the, I guess, opposite end of that this season. Rams would still be 10-6 in the playoffs. I had the Rams in the playoffs.
No, just kidding. Good pick.
Hey, thanks, man. Thank you.
Would that be your team if, like, the Commanders just didn't exist? Just say they came out and said the Commanders is no longer a football franchise.
I love the Niners.
Oh, yeah.
I love Shanahan. I love Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey.
What about Purdy?
He's all right. I don't hate Purdy. I don't know if I could get down with the Rams. I like Stafford, of course. I like McVay. But I don't know. That's a good question. I know your team would be the Titans.
You would go to Tennessee?
He's already halfway in.
I would go to Philly.
Philly?
Yep.
Why?
I've told you this many times.
Just because you're a heel?
No, I've told you that I like the city quite a bit, and I like their fan base. I like that they really dislike Dallas. I like that their fan base has a reputation for being gritty, hard-nosed.
Hard-nosed.
First one of those in the new year, I believe.
Chandler, if ECU ceased to exist, who would be your college team?
Oh,
no,
my
I didn't
goodness.
get punched in the nose.
Huh?
Probably Clemson.
Lies.
Tell the truth. It's state, isn't it?
I've always liked Clemson's colors. I've always liked their stadium.
As you sit in there in a red shirt.
Oh, boy.
Wolfpack is back again.
Big caught.
Let's take a break.
That.
Ken Watlington will join us in the Pirate Radio studios. We will talk more sports and get to the chat gang as well here on a Wednesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
Hey, Pirate Nation.
Nation, this is Holton Ahlers, and the countdown is on for the launch of the Holton Ahlers Show right here on Pirate Radio. I've got a ton of stories, big name guests, and more ready to go right here in January. Plus, we'll have plenty of sports knowledge and laughs each week from the walk-ons Caden Norman, Drew Dotter, and Jack Powers. Subscribe to Pirate Radio TV on YouTube today, and we'll see you in January right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
There's local politics, bud.
Hey Pirate Nation, be sure to have the best and comfortable shoes with a stop at Fleet Feet. This is ECU alum Chris Lunyon, owner of Fleet Feet of Greenville, and we provide solutions through one-on-one service to runners, walkers, and everyone in between. Fleet Feet has the tools and technology to get you in the right shoe, including a 3D foot scanner that measures arch height, width, and more. Come visit us at 207 East Arlington Boulevard in the old Gordon's Golf location. Fleet Feet, we run for you.
Turkey, ham, bacon, these and other meats are great around the holidays and every other day, but they all leave behind grease when you cook them, and grease is a real pain in the drain. When you pour grease down a drain, it cools and can clog sewer lines. That can lead to sewer spills, which are messy, bad for the environment, and can also be expensive. Never pour grease down the drain. Instead, collect it in a container like a used soup can or jar. Let it cool and throw it away in the trash. Together, we can protect our sewer system and the environment. For more information, go to GUC.com.
In football, it takes great offense, defense, and special teams to make the perfect team. With New Blue, it takes great service in plumbing, electrical, and HVAC to make the perfect team. This is Aaron Williams with Ease Plumbing, and we have teamed up with Viva Electric and Roland Black Heating and Cooling to form New Blue Service Group. Same great local team, same great local service. Let us help you tackle any issues you may have. Just go to callnewblue.com. That's callnublue.com. New Blue Service Group, where we are redefining service excellence. Go Pirates.
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank in your corner when you need them. This is former ECU baseball player Ashley Capps from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business today, come and see someone on our team at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard here in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
Here with Greg Lassiter from Champions Gym. And Greg, you've got a tremendous staff working for you with professional trainers. You've got classes like cycle, Pilates, muscle pump, Zumba. Talk about what you can bring to people like myself who's just getting back into the physical fitness world.
We've got all those classes, but the main thing we've got is a way for people to come in and feel comfortable. People, when they go in that gym, they feel like that is their home away from home.
Give the address and the phone number.
4190 Bayswater Drive, Winterville, 353-0544.
Champions Health and Fitness.
This is Dr. Andrew Bridgeforth from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services, as well as walk-in urgent care on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For experienced professional care, call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Hi, this is Parker Bunch. When I'm not hitting dingers or going viral, I'm listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Pirate Water. Get ready to party, pirates. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find your new treasure. 21 and older only. Pirate Water. Why be yourself when you can be a pirate? Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. 15-time best-selling author, keynote speaker, and global influencer John Gordon is coming to Greenville in March. John was ranked number 6 as one of the top leadership speakers in the world and will be our featured guest at the Pirate Radio Luncheon on Monday, March 18th. Don't miss out on this huge opportunity to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership skills, and create a better future for you and your team. To reserve a table, contact Jonathan Ellerby at pirateradio1250.com. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right. Big event coming to Greenville. John Gearden. Welcome back into the show. Clip Brock. Shirley Rhodes. Shirley, I mean this with all due respect. How's your butt doing today?
My butt is fantastic.
Now, for people that would wonder, why I would ask such a question? And am I going to get fired for sexual harassment?
No, he will not. I mean, if I didn't get fired for sexual harassment for slapping Chandler's butt, that one video.
Exactly. A lot of butt stuff going on here.
Yeah, a lot of butt stuff.
Yeah,
Ken Watlington, we'll get to you in a moment.
You just wait a second.
Yeah, give us a minute.
Shirley got a new chair.
And it's not just a chair.
What is it?
It's a gaming chair. And it also now looks like a throne. And you look like an evil leader of some sort. Like you look like the evil leader of an empire.
Well, the problem is that the chairs that we have in here, they have the little thing where you can raise it up or down depending on your height,
Can
preference,
you
and
get
whatnot.
up a moment and talk that just so people can see it on the video?
Yeah, I'll get up.
Yeah, okay.
All right, hold on. Let me.
People can see the chair.
Yeah, there we go.
What a beaut.
So, yeah, that's a beaut of a chair right there. But I had been thinking about, what we wanted to do in terms of upgrades here in the studio. And I was like, you know what? The problem with these chairs is that every now and then, at a random time, you never know when it's going to happen. You'll be sitting in the chair at your preferred height, and then all of a sudden it will give and just all the way down to the floor. And it's happened to me on the air. It's happened to me, at random times, and I was getting tired of it.
And the arm things are...
Yeah, and the arm things are...
A little wear and tear on them.
There's wear and tear. They're also weirdly... I say weirdly placed, but, you can get your pockets hung on the armrest, and it'll tear your pants or whatever.
Well.
So I finally said, I'm going to get me a chair. 2024 is a new me, new year, new car,
new chair.
Decided to get a new chair, and I picked it up yesterday and I assembled it in the studio, and I now have a new chair.
If it has wheels and it belongs to Shirley, it's new.
That's right.
Wait, all the other chairs have wheels on it.
That chair is yours though.
Yeah.
And that car out there is yours.
Shirley,
Yes.
just go with it. Just say, yeah, you're right, Chandler.
Yeah, you're right, Chandler.
There you go. I've never had a gaming chair such as that. I remember as a kid, I had like the remember the thing, so it sits on the floor and it rocks.
I
One of those deals.
I had one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had
It
that.
literally was just like this.
Had a bing bag chair.
Here is a slight, I don't know if you want to call it a glimmer of hope or whatever you want to call it, but let's just say there are more of these where I got this from.
There's more where that came from.
There's more than where that, and potential deal could be made. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
That is the voice of Ken Watlington who joins us here. Hello, Ken.
What's up?
Let me ask you
about my gaming chair. Back in my day, we just sat on the floor.
This also has a little bit more lumbar support.
It's ergonomically correct.
I sit in this, chair all day long most of the time. So I wanted to be comfortable, and this one doesn't hurt my back as much. And
back in the day, you had to sit like on the floor close to the TV because the controller like wireless. Yeah, exactly. The controller wires were real short,
and that's why I can't see a lick.
No free ads, but what is this? This apparel you guys are wearing today?
This is Crown and Ivy from Belk. And you know why I like this? Because every time you walk in, it says 75% off. I'm like, I like a good deal.
All right.
Yeah. I didn't even notice you were wearing Crown and Ivy.
All right. I don't have any of those.
Go to Belk.
Ivy gang.
All I have is Pirate Radio hoodies, and I love them. And I'm
that's very on brand.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
That checks.
Confirmed Week 18 starting quarterback so far.
Check this out.
From Adam Schefter. Blaine Gabbert.
Man.
Jeff Driscoll.
Oof. Oh, the Browns.
Carson Wentz.
Name that team.
He's still alive?
He is.
Rams.
Yes. Nick Mullins.
Vikings.
Trevor Siemian.
Jets.
Easton Stick.
Chargers.
Tyrod Taylor.
Giants.
Sam Howell.
Commanders.
Mason.
Who else are going to play?
Mason Rudolph.
Steelers.
Jarrett Stidham.
I have no idea.
Broncos, right?
Sure.
He's the guy that went in when they benched Russ.
Russ, yeah.
Due to money, right?
Yeah.
So it is going to be a wacky Week 18.
But Dak's still starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
they're playing for something.
They are playing for the NFC East when they take on Washington coming up on Sunday. Rivera's last stand.
That's it. It's all over.
One more game for Ron Rivera to cross his arms and not talk. And I mean, in a way, I'll miss him, not from a win-loss standpoint, just from hey, man, he's a good guy. I like
good
Ron.
guy, man.
We talked about this before. He'd be a good neighbor.
Absolutely.
Like, you're going to, one day you're going to sit there and go, man, I miss how good of a guy that guy was.
Ron, my gaming chair busted. Can I borrow yours for a night? He'd say,
Not a problem. I got an extra one in the basement.
He'd say, no, he'd just go.
Now, describe for the radio audience what you just did. You're doing a lot of this today, and I'm not a fan of it.
Crossed my arms, and I shook my head yes. Okay. Because Ron Rivera does not speak.
More of a nod than a shake.
Yeah.
All right. Let's be more descriptive.
A subtle nod.
Subtle nod.
Thank you. Ken has a way with words. Ken, give us a UNCW basketball update.
Your fighting, screaming, scoring Seahawks are 9-3, heading into conference play tomorrow night at Drexel.
The Dragons.
Before Saturday, January 6th, they storm into Baltimore, Maryland to take on the Towson Tigers.
The Fighting Maskovich.
The Fighting Maskoviches. They took one on the chin at Arkansas on Saturday, scored 90 points out at Bud Walton Arena, but gave up 106.
Oh, yeah.
Not ideal, but it was actually pretty competitive, high, spirited, physical game. It was fun to watch.
Yep, gave up a bucket late in the first half
You mentioned
have a 6-point deficit. I remember that well.
No.
For a reason.
You mentioned our departed friend, Zach Maskovich.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. I heard the first mention of his name, or his most infamous.
It's too early for that.
I heard it on the way up here on Sirius XM.
They were talking about somebody spoiling the Super Bowl.
They called him that idiot in Tampa.
Now, why is he an idiot?
So this is what the guy said. This is on.
Let's break this down.
This was on the Fantasy channel on Sirius. No, actually, it wasn't. It was on ESPN. It was, so they were describing the situation. Then the guy was saying that he was a part of a thread that used to exist prior to this happening of high-end gamblers that would get the notification from someone at the stadium during the practice run.
I see that.
He had the inside track, and then
Zach made it too mainstream.
And then Zach blew it all up and let everybody know that, this is happening, and that's why people like that line.
Yeah, I think it was hilarious.
I thought it was awesome.
How it
was hilarious to us.
For those that don't know, Zach, so the Super Bowl was in Tampa.
Yep. This is COVID year.
And he was like outside the stadium, right?
Yeah, they were like across the street doing live shots for the 6 o'clock news, a couple of days before the Super Bowl, and they're doing a run through of the national anthem, and he timed the sucker.
And he gave the results.
And posted it on
He put it on his Twitter.
Yeah. And immediately he got in trouble. Did they take down the they didn't let people bet on it at a lot of books?
I mean, he had like a serious backroom meeting at work, like from what he said at the time. Like it was nationally serious.
I think he came on the show with us and wasn't allowed to talk about that.
He could not.
Yeah.
I think I know. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I know a lot of stuff. He got into the most trouble because he did an interview with ESPN about it.
Oh, so that's why now if I'm like, hey, Zach, you want to come on and talk about USF, he has to talk to 8 people.
Yeah.
So he just went on what ESPN show?
It was just, I think it was just like a web article. I don't think he was actually even on.
It wasn't even like sports. Yeah. It's not like he went live on Sports Center.
No, they just a couple of quotes from him about, hey, how'd you do this? It's pretty funny. That's what everybody thought. Yeah. And then his work was like, well, you did an ESPN interview without asking us. And That was it.
How you cannot be bigger than the company.
ESPN.com, how a Florida TV reporter caused a Super Bowl national anthem betting kerfuffle. And I guess we've got quotes from Zach Maskovich. I just thought it was pretty funny. Maskovich told ESPN.
And then he finished it out by going, "Go O's."
That's great. So, this was February 6th, 2021. Almost the 3-year anniversary to Zach Maskovich changing everything.
The last time the Washington football team made the playoffs.
And we watched it.
We did a watch party right here. Taylor Heineke dives, hits the ball with the pylon for a touchdown. Chase Young goes and shows his name. Neither one of them part of the team anymore.
Is anyone?
Good question. Mike P says, Belk, which Cadillac did Ken drive to the studio today? He said, more like Ken Wallet.
I don't have the quarter zip like Chandler over here. Come on.
More like Ken Walletton. Walletton.
I didn't know Belk was like highfalutin.
Mike P also added that Ron Rivera's the neighbor all the kids are scared of, but he's just misunderstood, like the guy in Home
Alone. Both are equally possible. He's either the favorite neighbor or people are horrified.
Jamie says, Ken looks like a little guy with that camera angle. Usually that's the big seat. Yeah, it is funny. So now Ken's the little man at the table.
So let me do my seat, but I won't drop. Then like Charlie,
I'll switch it to drop.
If you switch it to that camera, Ken all of a sudden has been in the gym and
what's up?
It's a big. Look
Happy
now,
New
look
Year.
At you. You're huge. Woo! Please don't hurt me, please. You got a Ron Rivera barrel chest. All of a sudden. Ryan says, "Look at that dash hat. Love it. Thank you." All right, let's take a break. When we return, somebody's house is on fire.
Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying
Andre Rison.
I thought you were saying somebody.
You're killing all my stuff.
I thought you were saying that.
Stop talking.
When you said somebody,
water is wet.
It's the way you said somebody's house. Like you didn't know. Like you maybe just were scrolling Twitter.
All right.
I've been there. Big
Everybody forget what you just heard. When we return, I'll tell you whose house is on fire.
Tyreek Hill.
And then I'll ask
Tyreek Hill.
Everybody but Chandler, because he was too young. When you hear NFL wide receiver's house on fire, who does it make you think of? Well, we just did the segment, but we'll do it again when we return after this.
Time best-selling author, keynote speaker, and global influencer John Gordon is coming to Greenville in March. John was ranked number 6 as one of the top leadership speakers in the world and will be our featured guest at the Pirate Radio Luncheon on Monday, March 18th. Hey, John, tell us more about your upcoming visit.
Hey, Pirate Nation. John Gordon here. I am so excited about coming to Greenville, North Carolina and East Carolina University March 18th, where I'm going to talk about ways to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership, and build a stronger team. We're going to activate the positive competitive advantage together. I hope to see you there. Go Pirates.
Don't miss out on this huge opportunity to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership skills, and create a better future for you and your team. To reserve a table, contact me, Jonathan Ellerby, at ellerby@pirateradio1250.com. We look forward to seeing you in March.
Here with Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. It's a great time to buy a used vehicle.
It's not a great time, it's a perfect time to buy a used car from Brown & Wood. We have over 115 used vehicles in stock, and we're number one in the market on price. We have limited lifetime powertrain on all of our used cars under 80,000 miles, so go to brownandwoodauto.com to find out more. 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory of ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking in Uptown Greenville. Visit them online at PirateWear.com. StateFarmAgent.com. Go Pirates!
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you can save an average of $889 per year. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Timothy Sawyer, and I'm ready to help you combine your home and auto and save in Greenville, North Carolina. Call 493-0002 today to get started on your personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is Dr. Dixon from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services, as well as walk-in urgent care on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For experienced and professional care, call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Pizza, subs, slice, ice.
Jenny, what are you doing?
Just letting the Pirate Nation know that Cuccinella's has 2 locations. One in downtown Greenville across from Sup Dogs, and now in Midtown Greenville beside Best Buy. Did you know Cuccinella's is open every day with $6 lunch specials, slices all day, beer, wine, and their famous homemade gelato? Cuccinella's in downtown Greenville, and now their new location next to Best Buy. Go Pirates!
Hey you. Yeah, you. Have you heard? Greenville Auto World is under new ownership and is now part of the DriveHereNow.com network. DriveHereNow.com is run by local people who buy, service, detail, and sell everything directly to you. Greenville Auto World is now the 5th dealership to join the DriveHereNow.com network. Get car shopping today at DriveHereNow.com and choose a location near you. DriveHereNow.com, serving Eastern North Carolina for over 47 years and proud supporter of the Pirates.
Pirate Radio.
We're not afraid of nobody.
The voice of the Pirate Nation.
It's for you!
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Pirate Water. Get ready to party, pirates. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find your new treasure. 21 and older only. Pirate Water. Why be yourself when you can be a pirate? Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Greenville. Call 493-0002. Like a good neighbor, State Farm and Timothy Sawyer is there. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's Clip.
All right before our show began, I saw on X that Tyreek Hill's house is currently on fire.
Tyreek's house or Tyreek's hill?
Tyreek's house on a hill is currently on fire.
That's bad. Ooh.
There were reports that, per a team source, Tyreek Hill was aware, left Dolphins practice. But that is a pretty vicious fire.
Yeah, thankfully, though, the latest reports is that everyone that was in the house got out safely.
So there were people inside?
There were people inside, but everybody got out. Everybody's okay, but the house is not looking too good right now.
Have we learned yet, any reports come out that is his tennis shoe collection on fire in the bathtub?
I need more info on this.
That is an Andre Rison reference.
Oh, okay.
Way back in the day.
Back in the day.
The first football player's home to go on fire.
Now, are you familiar with this story, Chandler?
I'm not.
Andre Bad Moon Rison had a tumultuous relationship with Lisa Left Eye
Lopez
of the group TLC, also known as Tabaz Chalia.
Tabaz Chalia.
According to Bryce Williams.
TLC was my first concert.
Is that right?
TLC, Boys to Men, MC Hammer at Walnut Creek in Raleigh.
Oh, that's
concert
that's
ever.
a strong lineup right there.
Were you the creep they were talking about? And
Yeah, 2 years later, they came out with the big hit Creep.
They saw this guy.
This one goes out to that boy from Plymouth.
You wanted it to be the red light special. You wound up being the creep. They probably did Scrubs for you too.
That's right.
Follow up. Yeah.
Man, you were a big impact on their career.
I mean, really, you were the source of all of those big hits.
I know.
I guess we got a helicopter cam looking at Tyreek Hill watching his house burn, and he's in a boot.
Oh.
I think that's the biggest news to pass
Adam
along.
Schefter just tweeted out.
His left foot is wrapped in a boot, a big boot that goes all the way up his leg. Yeah, so Lisa Left Eye Lopez burned down Andre Rison's house back in
By
the day.
throwing his tennis shoe collection into the bathtub.
And lighting it on fire.
That was the source of
that was the source of the fire.
That's how it started.
Wow.
Yep.
Man.
And it quickly got out of control because she used an accelerant.
And there was no waterfall nearby.
I think.
Yes.
And what happened?
Well done, sir.
Very good. Very good.
What made her do that?
I was actually reading an article before the show because I was going to bring this up.
I'm guessing it's either
Jealousy.
domestic violence or there was
domestic violence involved. They were both out late at night that particular night separately. And Andre Rison got home about 5 a.m. They got in a fight in the driveway. He walks off, comes back 20 minutes later, house is burning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yada, yada, yada.
What about a story?
T-Boz and Chile from the group were actually watching TV, and the news pops on. Chili sees it first, calls T-Boz and says, "Turn on the TV. Lisa done burned the house down."
They did the
Lisa done burned the house down.
They did the Leonardo DiCaprio said.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know
exactly.
that house.
Have any of you ever had? I can't believe
A
I'm
house
about to
burned
tell
down?
this. No, I'm about to tell the story. Have any of you ever had a family member or a loved one or anybody that you knew appear on the news in front of you in a situation?
Yes.
Like in terms of like you're sitting at home watching TV and the family
and you're
members
like,
on TV?
oh my goodness.
Chandler said yes. I know what his was about. His they did a story on his uncle.
I don't
that
know.
played- his uncle that played church.
That's Uncle Jeffrey.
His longtime church league legend uncle.
Reference from yesterday's show.
What's yours, Chandler?
No, a buddy of mine who went to Carolina. They were interviewing him after they won the big game.
A buddy of yours? He said family member, didn't he?
Or someone that you knew.
That's not. I was
I
talking
think
about
he's saying in a negative light.
I was saying yes. I was saying in a tumultuous situation.
So what
family
about?
member. I'm trying to remember if there was anybody. No.
What are you about to tell us?
I think I've told a few people this story. I don't know.
You're about to tell a whole lot more.
I don't think I've ever told it on air though. I had an uncle.
And it's going to be Ken's top story tonight. So.
This just in.
I had an uncle who is now passed. He had an episode of the bipolar variety, and ended up trying to take over the Waffle House in New Bern.
I didn't know New Bern had a Waffle House.
It has been since demolished.
Oh.
I don't know if it was cursed by this or not.
Okay.
There's a lot of details I'm gonna leave off the air, but the end story is is that we're watching the news at home that morning, and is that Uncle Steve's truck?
Uncle Steve done took over the Waffle House.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! That is his truck. Oh my goodness, that's him. And so we had that realization as a family sitting there watching the TV.
Austin,
it was something. It was
Austin, this is crazy.
Austin says not the news, but I did see someone I knew on To Catch a Predator.
Oh
wow! That beats my story.
And that's
That
wild because I was asking you earlier today. You were listening to a podcast, and I said, "Hey, I recognize that voice. Isn't that the Catch the Predator guy?" And he was
Chris
like,
Hansen?
No,
it wasn't.
Keith Morrison.
Yeah, it was Keith Morrison. But I was like, I recognize that voice.
Jamie says, was he the Predator? And Austin said, well, he wasn't the decoy or the house or the cops. So, yes, he was the Predator.
Or Keith Morrison.
I bet a lot of people had that
thing you were talking about, Glenn, where they saw something on the TV, somebody they knew recently with that ECU professor that.
Oh, sure.
Had
sure,
the
they had
shooting
the
in
Vegas situation, yeah.
Because I saw a lot of people on social media saying, wow,
They had him
I
as
knew
a
that
professor,
guy.
yeah.
You guys know that show Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO?
I love John Oliver.
A friend of mine, I'm watching that show a couple years ago, and a friend of mine's face pops up. They were doing something about Verizon, and he used to work for Verizon's corporate headquarters up in New Jersey, and, the FCC or something. So my buddy worked in corporate communications, was interviewing the CEO, and they showed the clip of him asking the question. I'm like, what the hell's Jeremy doing on this show? But that's the closest thing I've had.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm sorry.
A former member of the Pirate Radio team, to not be named on air.
Name redacted?
Not name redacted.
Name redacted too?
Name refused. Maybe.
He who shall not be
he
named.
who shall not be named.
Can I say it?
Is yes. Is he's in a QAnon documentary on HBO.
What?
Okay, I'm going to ask you about that off air.
They show a Greenville rally, and his face is in.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I had that similar moment though. It was like,
that's a little different.
oh no.
Now, the one that I had was actually more on a local level. I mean, anybody that's worked here at Pirate Radio knows that one of my best friends is a police officer. And I was, back when we did Morning Drive with Jeff, I would do the news. I did a segment a little piece every segment. And I was reading a story about a high-speed chase that resulted in the driver of the vehicle being killed by police at the end of this high-speed chase, and they were able to stop the vehicle because one of the police officers pulled like a blockade or whatever and T-boned the vehicle. And I read the police officer's name, and it was her. And I was not aware that this took place. It had taken place the night before, and I was reading it live on air, and I completely stopped. And I was like, oh no, because, anything can happen in a situation like that. You could be seriously injured. I had no idea. So as soon as I got off the air, I called, and turns out she was fine. She was just really sore. But that was one of those moments on radio that I remember distinctly, just coming to a complete stop and being shocked.
Josh asking, is the house in question that's on fire on Wimbledon Drive?
Don't ask me.
Another Chandler reference. Got a lot of Chan references on the show.
I mean, we started 2024 with a bang. I mean, he might not be able to tell a story, but we can recall a bunch of them he did last time.
Do you have an update on the shirt that got peed on by the cat?
I hope it's washed. I have no idea.
Okay.
Wait, who was supposed to wash it?
That was a good story, right?
That was a good story.
Who was supposed to wash it, you or your mom?
Chandler ain't washing nothing.
I was leaving when I found out that it had been urined on.
Urinated.
Urine.
When I found out that it was urinated on.
So in other words, your mom's washing it?
Oh yeah.
Urine.
I tossed it in the washing machine and I said, hey, this has been urined on. You need to wash it now.
Boy, you can tell he's from Sampson County.
Man. You're in trouble. Ken, sports, go.
You're not going to believe it. But I got nothing.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, you are wearing Hornets colors.
Hornets.
And
Sure,
the
Hornets got to win. Woo!
And guess who got 34 points in the game?
Terry Rozier.
Dale
Your
Curry.
boy.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh, Terry.
Oh, Terry, please.
Yeah, I'm way out on them.
They're coming back. They're only 5 games out of 10 spot.
That is sad.
To make the play-in
because they're
game.
like 8-24, right?
Yeah.
All right, Ken, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate y'all.
For another Wednesday of fun.
Absolutely.
Here on the show. Anything you need to... My parents watched the documentary.
How they like
They
it?
enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
Because they have been Channel 9 viewers for a long, long time.
Thank you.
Now, is that stored somewhere where I can go back and watch it? Because I missed it.
It is. It's on the website and our YouTube page.
Okay.
So everybody check it out if you hadn't seen it.
Go check it out. Anything, when are you on TV again?
Let's see, about 61 minutes.
61 minutes. You can listen to Pirate Radio and watch Ken Watts.
Simulcast. Multitask.
We will talk to you next week, sir.
Yep.
We'll take a break, come back. Hour 2, Pirate Radio Live on the way on a Wednesday. We are back with you with more great stories after this.
It's for you!
The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of pirates in eastern North Carolina. Open 7 days a week with live music, Monday through Wednesday, acoustic night. Thursday, we have line dancing from 7 to 9, followed by karaoke with DJ Dog. On Friday and Saturday night, enjoy the best local bands in the area. And don't forget, Sunday Fun Day during football season with NFL jersey giveaways and more. Check out Facebook and Instagram for all up-to-date information and band schedules. Y'all come get bucked up.
Washington's favorite place to eat and where all the locals go is down on Main Street. Down on Main Street's famous weekday lunch specials are only $7.99. Stop by for the house salad with grilled chicken, the half club sandwich with chips, or everyone's favorite, the fried shrimp plate. After work, Down on Main Street is the perfect spot for dinner and a drink on the patio. Join Down on Main Street every Wednesday for half-price wings from 4 to close. Down on Main Street in historic downtown Washington. Go Pirates!
Defense!
What are you doing?
You haven't heard? Carolina Hardscapes has the best defense in Pitt County. And you know defense wins championships.
What? No. They have the best fence company in Pitt County.
Wait, they do fencing now?
That's right. Just give them a call at 364-1201 and they'll get the job done right. And don't forget, they still do patios, pools, and mulch.
Wow, now that's a championship caliber company. Carolina Hardscapes. Enjoy the outdoors.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulf of Mexico. A huge 38-ounce lime margarita for only $8.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Save a load on a new John Deere compact utility tractor and loader from Quality Equipment. It's never been easier to get the best brand on the market at an unbeatable cash price or with great financing at our lowest ever monthly payment. Now is the time to get that tractor package you've been dreaming of to get your next job done right. Stop by one of our 36 locations in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia, or visit us online at qualityequip.com.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, get rid of unwanted hair and under-eye fat pads? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medi-Spa for a free consultation and ask about our newest technologies and treatments. Learn more at beautybarmedispa.com, Red Banks Road, Greenville. Enjoy your visit, love your transformation, and go Pirates!
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
Before anyone walks into your business, the outside is what they see. Make sure your first impression is a good impression with the right curb appeal. Hi, this is Daniel Andrews from Dan Andrews Lawn Service. We specialize in making your business look great. Let us handle all your professional landscaping needs. We do it all so you don't ever have to worry. Residential services are also available. Call us today at 717-8006 and we'll come out and give you a free quote. Taking care of your landscaping needs is all we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. You can trust our reliable team at Dan Andrews Lawn Service, covering all of Eastern North Carolina.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Down on Main Street, Washington's favorite place to eat and where all the locals go. Join Down on Main Street every Wednesday for half-price wings from 4 p.m. to close. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Thinking about takeout tonight? Familia can make everything real easy for you with a great selection of Italian food and more. Visit FamiliaNC.com to see the full menu featuring pizzas, pastas, salads, and homemade desserts. Place your order online or call 689-6330 and Familia will have your order ready in their convenient drive-thru window for pickup. Finish up a busy day with a great dinner for yourself or your family from Familia. Familia on Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip Brock.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live, on a Wednesday. A lot of To Catch a Predator talk going on the YouTube chat. I went on a To Catch a Predator marathon somewhat recently. During the Christmas break.
I'm glad you didn't go on a show.
Nah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Never appeared on one of them. Was on a Survivor kick, and I've been watching a lot of police interrogation videos on YouTube. Just find those fascinating.
You know what I find fascinating, and of course you can catch a marathon anytime, Forensic Files.
Yeah, I
love watching
those
that.
old shows. The Voice is pretty legendary.
You mean the music show, The Voice?
No, I mean The Voice, the dude in Forensic Files.
Oh, okay. The narrator.
Yes.
Okay. It threw me for a second. I was
Never
like,
seen
wow.
The Voice.
I was like, that was a strange departure from our subject.
Nah, not into that. I saw something in the chat that I wanted to say, but I can't find it. On X, Redbeard said his munkle's
Munkle.
Yeah, his mother's uncle. I was just trying to shorten it up. His mother's uncle was on the Cops knockoff show called True Stories of the Highway Patrol, and he wasn't a cop. So,
oh boy,
part of the Redbeard family made it on TV.
Was he wearing a tank top?
Well, first, was he wearing a shirt? If so, was it a tank top? We've got Portal news.
Oh man, I just saw that.
Like just in this second?
Yep. Just went by.
When I searched his name. Gerald Green, East Carolina running back, has entered the transfer portal. NCAA transfer portal reports. This is a Rivals website. 480 yards transferred from Georgia Southern. Where, oh boy, this is a great sentence from NCAA transfer portal. East Carolina running back Gerald Green entered the portal as a grad transfer. He transferred from Georgia Southern, where he was rushed for 480 yards.
Goodness gracious.
Chandler, did you type that?
No.
I
type good. I just can't speak good.
Fair enough. He was rushed for 480 yards. Of course, this comes one day after me talking about how the running back room was stacked with John David Baker, who joined us on the show yesterday.
Yeah.
Got some of that audio. Can we hit some of that, Shirley?
Yeah, which one you want?
We'll go number one. JDB joining us yesterday on Pirate Radio Live. Ryan asking, do you believe you have the pieces here to run the type of offense you want? And if not, what is the biggest need that you still need to add?
No, I really feel strongly that we do, and I'm not just saying that. I really do. You know, we sat down and watched really every guy that we've got on the roster, and feel like we've got the pieces, and feel like we've added the pieces that we really need to go do it. Now we've got to still add some depth and get some guys in some spot that you got to have to make it through a 12, 13 game season. But I really do feel like we've got the guys in the room that we can go be extremely competitive next year.
What did you make or take away from John David Baker on the show yesterday?
It seems like he has a plan in place to, put up some points, go up tempo, and he seems to like what there is on this roster already, and seems to be that they could be a piece to the success of what he wants to run here. So just very impressed with what he has, and I know people have said it, but he does literally sound like Lincoln Riley, and he's a young guy, and I'm very excited to see what he brings to the table offensively for East Carolina football.
I like that there's not a lot of flash in his presentation.
Right, I'm the same way. I mean, I just think that he's just like laid back. There's not
very calm, very like even keel. But it reminds me of Blake Harrell a little bit in the sense that you get.
But there's energy there.
There's energy and intensity there. It's there, but it's in his words and not necessarily his. He doesn't give you a lot of pizzazz and flash with it, and I like that.
What you see with Blake Harrell is that he's laid back, very soft spoken, but on the field you see what he runs defensively is aggressive. It's chaotic, and I feel like we could see that with this offense, with it being up tempo, throwing the ball down the field with some of the guys that we got in the transfer portal. Looking at this Anthony Smith guy from NC State, this is the guy that I think that we can go down the field and attack.
Where is he from?
From NC State. I really like that guy's play.
I'm sure you do.
Reminds me a little bit of Corn Robinson and Torrey Holt and.
You keep bringing up Torrey Holt.
Haywood Jeffries.
You a big Torrey Holt fan?
Torrey Holt was great.
Andre
for the Rams.
You're a Rams guy.
That is true. So when Eric Bieniemy, follow me here, went from Kansas City to Washington, I thought it was a weird move because he's making a lateral move from offensive coordinator to offensive coordinator. Now it's his offense, so he can put that on his resume, I guess, that I am in complete control of this offense. There's no Andy Reid calling plays or making personnel decisions. It's me. It's all me. But he's going into it where Rivera is on somewhat of a hot seat. You look at the first NFL coach fired.
It's not even a hot seat
going into last year. I'm talking about going into the year.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's a dead seat.
Going into the year. Hot seat, Rivera up there at the top of the first coach fired list. And I just thought it was an odd move, almost a lame duck type thing, where if the Commanders don't make the playoffs, Rivera's gone. And then where does that leave Eric Bieniemy? There were questions asked yesterday about, John David Baker and why. And I chose the nicest version of this question to ask kind of John David Baker, what he sees in Mike Houston and why he came here. But there were questions to the tune of, why would you enter a situation where you have a coach that's on the hot seat? Now, is Mike Houston on the hot seat?
No.
In a way, no. In a way, he needs to win 6 games this year, right?
This year, like after this season.
I'm talking about right now.
Right now, I say no.
No?
Well, the seat has some sort of temperature to it. If he has to get to 6 wins.
But I'm saying
in
that,
your eyes.
I think that the seat cooled from where it was at the end of the season by the moves that have been made.
All right, well, what about when we start playing games
get
again?
Results on the field.
Well, it could be hot as all get out in about 3 weekends.
So it's an interesting move for John David Baker to come here because if the head coach does lose their job, he needs a job.
Right, and he's out from underneath the lane tree.
I guess what I'm trying to say is this is it's a new role for him, but it is it's a win now role, and I think he's got that attitude too.
Sure,
he said it in his introductory press conference that this is not like a 3-year.
No, I agree with you there. This is you got 1 year.
Fix it now.
You got this
situation.
is a fix
And
it now situation.
For a guy that's 33 years old and coming into his first situation where he's calling plays, I think that tells you a lot about the confidence that he has in himself to come in here and to change things drastically, because we saw what we did last year offensively, and I think that he has enough confidence that he can come in here, recruit, and put a product on the field where the Pirates can win games based off them going up and scoring points.
I will say that, the thing about the NFL jobs are that there's only so many of them, so you take what you can get, what you're offered.
Yeah, but Eric,
the concept, somebody's going to make the decision to go work for David Tepper. A whole staff's going to make that decision, Whereas in college,
you pick and choose
there's
a little more.
Right, there's more opportunity.
True. Opportunity.
But also, I think when it's you're of a certain age, and you got a chance to go and do your own thing and call your own show, you take life by the horns, man. He seems like a take the life by the horns kind of guy.
To Chandler, I like to play devil's advocate. To your point about him, this shows his confidence in himself to take this job. Well, I mean, every coach has. I mean, Scotty Montgomery had confidence in himself to come and take the head job here.
Never lost his cool. Never lost his cool despite all the crap he was good.
Who's that?
Mo. I'm saying in press conferences.
Yeah.
I hate to bring him up again, but our good friend Maskovich was...
he really was the only one to challenge him.
He challenged him quite a bit.
What did he say? Are you coaching for your job or something like that?
Like, yeah, it was like an obvious situation where he was just poking the bear. Help the bear.
Poke the bear. I was reminded a little bit of Scotty Montgomery when Mike Houston said, this is not going to happen to us again. That just reminded me of we're going to a bowl game. I guarantee it next year.
Oh, boy. I forgot about that.
Which I said at the time.
He was going for Tebow, not Scotty Mo.
It's a giant nothing burger.
Yeah.
You can say that all you want, but it means nothing.
Until we're eating Pop-Tarts, it means nothing. Or Cheez-Its. Whatever your fun bowl game snack.
Mike Houston's getting mayo dumped on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever your snack affiliated bowl, if we're firing bullets at the military bowl, whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your takeaway from John David Baker's interview?
He's the eye of the hurricane.
Explain.
Very calm. Nothing going on, but around him,
there's havoc.
There's a frenzy. There's a havoc. No, I agree with what you guys said, and I agree with he definitely has confidence in himself. And you know what I like, too, is he didn't come in here as like Lane Kiffin Jr.
Right.
He talked about coaching and playing in Division II, FCS, and building up and knowing how to compete at that level. And he's been at the SEC level. So I like that he has seen football from all different aspects, all different areas, and is not coming in here thinking that this is going to be like it was at Ole Miss, where and honestly, Ole Miss has a lot of things that East Carolina doesn't have, sure, but they are playing from behind the 8 ball in the SEC. He brought that up when he talked about this might be cut 2, Shirley. It's either 2 or 3. Let's try cut 2 if he's talking about. Actually,
are you talking about the tempo in the defensive line?
Go cut 3. If it's going the way you want it to, will you go up tempo?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's just, like I've said before, that's something that I believe in because I've seen it over my time the last few years. To me, it's for us at Ole Miss, it was an equalizer. For some of those defensive lines in that league, for a place like here, where I feel like we're going to have equal talent to everybody that we're playing. Now it becomes a real advantage, and there's times where you really want to use it, but there's times where you got to be smart as well, and we'll have a healthy balance of that.
All right, so that was interesting. You play up tempo at Ole Miss to try to make up for some of the talent you're missing within Alabama, Georgia. You play up tempo here to create an advantage because he thinks and says, and it should be that way, that you have equal to better talent than your opponents in the American.
Some of our neatest conversations yesterday happened off the air, I thought, where we had the conversations between Bryce and Coach JDB about nomenclature and how things are called in the Mike Leach system.
So Riley called plays the same way Mike Leach did. Apparently, It was numbers based.
Yeah.
And John David Baker said they had gone away from the numbers and now given it names. But Bryce was really able to pick up what he was talking about pretty quickly.
It was just
pretty
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, it was just a very cool meeting of the minds.
I didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
No, I had no clue what they were talking about.
But
Bryce was rattling it off.
Well, did he say it on the air or to you?
No, it was in between.
Where he was talking about if it's any more than 4 words, he's going to scrap the play call. Every play call is going to be 4 words or less.
Yep.
And in those 4 words, it's going to tell everybody on the field what they're doing, the protection, everything in between.
Yeah, that's when Bryce brought up, yeah, that's how it was in college, and I got in the NFL, and it was a sentence.
Right. Yeah.
It's everything. Everybody has a specific line in there that's their key.
Yeah. Chandler, did you want to play devil's advocate on me?
Sure.
Chandler said setting up that clip because I went devil's advocate on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned that I like that John David Baker's not coming here as Lane Kiffin Jr., big-time SEC guy. He's coming here as a D2, FCS, Group of 5, Power 5.
Grind set.
He's seen it all
Workers
at all
mentality.
levels, and I like that. And Chandler, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that Mike Houston played and coached football at a lot of levels too.
And what's your point?
There really isn't one.
All right.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm close because the only thing
You're
is
close.
he hasn't coached in Power 5.
Yeah, which is why you probably didn't bring up that point because you didn't have a point. You just wanted to play devil's advocate.
I just wanted to play too.
You want to play? Hey,
I want to play the game.
He wanted to pick up the sticks. Pick up the sticks.
Pick up the sticks.
You can play.
Speaking of playing a game, this is kind of off Pirate Radio, but have you been keeping up with the stream over at Barstool today where a guy is playing the golf simulator and trying to hit a hole-in-one?
No.
Jersey Jerry is on hour number 17 playing the golf simulator there, trying to hit a hole-in-one, which they say is possible, but he's about 2,000 strokes into this thing.
That sounds miserable.
And is not there yet. And the goal will be, is what he said, he would end the stream when he got the hole-in-one. And it got me thinking about similar things that we could do. I thought about my own challenge, and it would be to hold, like I would end the stream under these circumstances, like if I can hold the opposing team in NBA Jam under 10 points. I even thought about, I got to hold them scoreless because I've done that. But it might be under 10.
I got to go a whole show without a cigarette.
That's your call.
Chandler has to go one segment without screwing up a sentence.
Oh, man. We'll be here all day.
The clock restarts every time that he makes a mistake.
We'd be here like for at least a week.
Okay, Shirley. A week.
She's feeling good in her throne. Mike Ward said, playing devil's advocate. Have we ever heard a press conference that said, man, this guy ain't it. He sucks. I always go back to Nick Sirianni.
Yep, the system.
That's the guy I think of. I was like, man, this guy is clueless.
Is that...
And there's Adam Gase.
Adam Gase
is
with
where
the
I was the jet with the eyes. I don't know if it was the lights in that room and the way they were pointing at. I don't know what that deal was, but that man was goose.
Nah, but I mean, Mike, to your point, like we always talk about winning the press conference, it means nothing. So yeah, I hear you. And in fact, I mean, these guys prepare for the press conference. They think of the questions they're going to get. They're putting on a presentation just like we do in school.
They've had the internal conversation about the points that our fan base buys into the most. Yeah. Like he knows going into it what to say, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's not truly off the cuff.
I think the biggest thing that gets people when new coaches arrive to a new spot is knowing the lingo, knowing the culture.
That's what I mean. They've had
doing the homework of, because I remember when Mike Houston here, he mentioned like Free Boot Friday. Like things like that really get people fired up. And like that's what makes people think, all right, he's the guy.
I know. It's easy to trick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, we were in Motown early in the Mo era.
Yeah, I loved his energy and his, dare I say, swag.
Then they beat State.
He was swag-tastic. And then, it all turned to mush.
We had a big billboard inside of the mall in Raleigh.
I got to say, man, I probably didn't say it. I've told some folks, like, I was always a little weary of Jeff Comfrey. That's just the way he talked and how robotic he was.
Yeah.
And I was never really on board
I just
with
didn't
that.
understand why that person would be hired for here.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like off the rip, I would know that, like, if you put me in the room and said, okay, these are our potential hires, I would say, well, that guy is not going to connect with our fan base at all.
Nah, he was just like a guy in a suit that had somehow
He's an executive.
found his way as East Carolina's athletic director.
I thought
almost
you were
out
about
of
to
nowhere.
say found his way onto the list.
No, we're not going to do a Pat McAfee, Jimmy Kimmel, Aaron Rodgers thing. Although we could bump up our ratings.
We could.
But Ellerby would enjoy it for a day or two.
Until he got the legal papers.
Until, we get sued and we all lose our jobs and everything.
Mike P says, what if JDB promises the stadium will be rocking? And that stadium, it'll be rocking.
I mean, you got to...
You know who asked the question to get that answer?
You?
The big dog did. So it was my favorite.
The big dog.
It's my favorite moment interviewing a coach. It was after practice one day.
It's a good soundbite.
That's when I thought he could be the guy.
That's when you thought he won. Is that when you thought he won the press conference?
That's when I thought he could be the guy.
Jamie says every coach that gets hired promises championships. Yep. These promises, these guarantees, they mean nothing.
I do like that we just say bowl and we don't go like conference championship and this, that, and the other, like ridiculous statements.
I don't think a conference championships would be that ridiculous in this conference, though.
It shouldn't be when you look at the schedule, but we got to do it first.
I mean, if we're out here talking about national championships, that would be a little
absurd.
I'd side-eye you a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more JDB with Holton Ahlers coming up in hour number 3 of today's show. Get an update on Holton joining the UFL. What team is he on? The team in Texas?
The Arlington Renegade.
He's going to be a Renegade.
Renegade.
Arlington Renegades UFL. All right. We'll talk about that. We will talk about his podcast beginning soon, the Holton Ahlers Show.
Holton Ahlers Show coming your way.
Right to Pirate Radio. And get his thoughts on the national championship. Washington, Michigan. Not what we thought we'd see in the national championship. But that is what we got. We'll take a break, come back. When we return, Antoine Staley joins us, New York Daily News, to talk about the final week of the NFL regular season. Look at the playoff picture. And Steve, fellow Commanders fan, says, do we, Washington, trade up to number 1 to take Caleb Williams? If so, what does it cost? Talk a little NFL draft as well when we return. Pirate Radio Live. Back with you on a Wednesday after this.
Till I reach the top. Hey, take a listen. Tell me, do you like what you hear?
Holton Ahlers turns, and Holton will take off and run himself. He's at the 40-yard line. Holton Ahlers to the 30. Look at him go! 20, 10, 5, touchdown Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Holton Ahlers, and I can't wait for you to join me for the Holton Ahlers Show starting in January, right here on Pirate Radio. The Holton Ahlers Show is a brand new podcast that will explore my take on what's happening in the world of sports, provide a deep dive into my playing career, including stories that fans have never heard of before, and feature big-name guests that I've met on and off the field, like current and former players from all kinds of sports, ESPN, and media personalities, and more. I will host the show each week with some of my best friends and former teammates known as the Walk-Ons, because they are all former Walk-Ons. Cade Norman, Drew Dotter, and Jack Powers' sports knowledge, wit, and humor will keep our audience engaged and always wanting more. Plus, keep me honest and pushing me to bring my best every day, like they always have done. See you in January, Pirate Nation, right here on the voice of the Pirate Nation.
There's local politics, bud. Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. family. Go Pirates.
In football, it takes great offense, defense, and special teams to make the perfect team. With New Blue, it takes great service in plumbing, electrical, and HVAC to make a perfect team. This is Aaron Williams with Ease Plumbing, and we have teamed up with Viva Electric and Roland Black Heating and Cooling to form New Blue Service Group. Same great local team, same great local service. Let us help you tackle any issues you may have. Just go to callnewblue.com. That's callnublue.com. New Blue Service Group, where we are redefining service excellence. Go Pirates.
Save a load on a new John Deere compact utility tractor and loader from Quality Equipment. It's never been easier to get the best brand on the market at an unbeatable cash price or with great financing at our lowest ever monthly payment. Now is the time to get that tractor package you've been dreaming of to get your next job done right. Stop by one of our 36 locations in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia, or visit us online at qualityequip.com.
Before anyone walks into your business, the outside is what they see. Make sure your first impression is a good impression with the right curb appeal. Hi, this is Daniel Andrews from Dan Andrews Lawn Service. We specialize in making your business look great. Let us handle all your professional landscaping needs. We do it all so you don't ever have to worry. Residential services are also available. Call us today at 717-8006 and we'll come out and give you a free quote. Taking care of your landscaping needs is all we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. You can trust our reliable team at Dan Andrews Lawn Service, covering all of Eastern North Carolina.
Now's your chance to save during the year-end clear out at Bostic Sugg Furniture. We're clearing out the 2023s, which means huge savings for you. Find unheard of sale prices all across our showroom floor. Save 70% off clearance items. Take an extra 10% off all in-stock custom order furniture, plus 6 months special financing. Get a new mattress at year-end savings, plus all in-stock last chance Serta Arctic and Restonic mattresses are half off. The year-end clear out is finally here, now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
This is Rajay Harris, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Down on Main Street, Washington's favorite place to eat and where all the locals go. Join Down on Main Street every Wednesday for half-price wings from 4 p.m. to close. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local and print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio. And Bud Light reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing. Wow. Since 1989. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live. I don't know if this is live or not, but it's the Under Armour, some kind of Under Armour All-Star game, high school All-Star game. I can't believe I'm saying this. So it's fire versus ice. Those are the teams. And the colored jerseys have a kind of fire theme. The white jerseys have an ice theme.
Uh-huh.
And I got to say, I kind of like it.
I do too.
I like it.
This I'm very excited about him.
You're going to keep this joke going, and there's going to be people that are really going to get upset with you, but go ahead.
I'm just excited about his play.
Why?
He's signed with NC State.
I mean, again, like, you can laugh and joke all you want, but at some point, this is going to come back to haunt you. But keep it up. Keep it going. What if Chandler in 2024 is the bad guy? Lovable, happy. You just want to pinch his.
Look at this! Look at touchdown!
You just want to pinch his cheeks, guy, and he turns.
Touchdown State! You are terrible.
He turns into a bad guy. All right, sports trivia coming up tonight at AJ's. We had a crazy big random crowd for Christmas last week. It was awesome. hopefully that picks back up tonight. We had a lot of fun last Wednesday night. Trivia question for you guys, and if you don't get it, I'll ask Antoine Staley, who's hanging on the live line. This quarterback led the NFL in interceptions thrown last year. This year, he, as of right now, leads the league in touchdown passes, and it would be the first time since the 1940s where a player went from the most interceptions thrown to the most touchdowns thrown in back-to-back years. Who is that quarterback? Throw out a name. Dak Prescott is correct.
Prescott.
Well done, Chan Man. Antoine Staley joins us on the Pirate Radio Live line. Antoine, did you know that? You might as well say yes.
I kind of figured it was either him or Jared Goff, but I figured it was one of them.
Yeah, Dak Prescott and those Dallas Cowboys. And we've got two winner-take-all games when it comes to divisions this week. At least the East teams, Antoine, going at it. And there's some South implications in the AFC as well. We'll talk about it all. But let's start with Dak and the Cowboys. And really the story there in the NFC East is what is going on with Philly. Even when they were winning games, they looked a little shaky, but you could kind of look past it because they were still winning. Now they're losing some of these games, Antoine. They are falling apart at the wrong time, whereas Dallas, if you get them at home, they are unbeatable. That's what the record says the last couple of years anyway. So how about Dallas taking on Washington, Eagles taking on the Giants, and the Cowboys, if they can be at home, Antoine, they're a different team in the playoffs.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, it's really the tale of two teams. At least for a while, the Eagles only lost was crazy enough the Jets beat them in October, but it's really falling apart, and I think a lot of that has to do with obviously how Jalen Hurts is playing or not performing, but I think also you have to look at their defense. Their defense isn't generating the same pressure. I think last year they had 70 sacks. This year it's been almost nearly half of that. I think in the last 6 weeks or so they have about 12 sacks. I think during that same stretch last year they had 30. So I think them not being able to generate the same amount of pressure has put a lot of stress on their secondary, and I think teams have been able to take advantage of that, like the Cardinals did last week. But Dallas definitely with Dak taking care of the football there, and CeeDee Lamb is just having a year out of this world. And defensively, obviously, Michael Parsons is always the problem. But I think Dallas, at least right now, to me, is the second best team in the NFC. And as you said, if they can just play at home and up until they get to the NFC Championship against the 49ers, I mean, they definitely have a chance to get to their first conference championship in about 30 years.
Antoine, who can beat the big bad 49ers in the NFC? Dallas played them earlier this year, lost 42-10. Eagles played them earlier this year, lost 42-19. When you look at the Niners' losses this year, they lost on the road at Cleveland, on the road at Minnesota, and lost to the Ravens and Bengals as well at home. So they're certainly beatable. They have blown out a lot of teams. The Rams lost to them earlier this year, only by 7 points. So, look, nobody's unbeatable. These Niners are really good, but do you look at Dallas, Philly, Detroit? Maybe you go with a division opponent like the Rams. Like who could beat this Niners team in the playoffs in the NFC?
You kind of stole my thunder there. I was going to surprise you with the Rams. And I think whenever you know a division opponent as well as the Rams or the 49ers, you got a puncher's chance. And as you alluded to, it was a close game the first time around. And, Sean McVay is a creative coach. And I think Matt Stafford is having a really good year. Kind of a low-key. I don't think a lot of people are talking about the year that he's having. And, I think defensively the Rams are starting to get together at the right time. So I think they're dangerous. They're a really dangerous team that's going to – I don't think a lot of people want to play because obviously there's a lot of the Rams have that – Rams had that experience with the Super Bowl, a few years ago, and a lot of players still remain. So I think once they get in the playoffs, anything can happen, especially when you play a division opponent. So I think the Rams. I'll say the Lions too. Just the simple fact that I felt like they should have won the game against the Cowboys. They're obviously well constructed there offensively, has a lot of power. It's just the one thing that worries me about the Lions is just Jared Goff and the turnovers at times. I mean, he plays well. One week he plays particularly really well, and the next week sometimes he gets like he's a turnover machine. So that's the one thing that worries me about Detroit heading into the postseason. Just Jared Goff, and can he be consistent enough?
Antoine Staley joining us, looking like a Lions-Rams first-round matchup, which would be a fun game. And then in that 4-5 game, you're going to have the South champion hosting either Philadelphia or Dallas. And Antoine, is this, and we see this pretty much every year. The Washington did it a couple years ago where they had a subpar record and hosted a playoff game. Chandler's Panthers have done it a couple times. Seems like it always happens for an AFC South team as well. Do you give? I mean, look, the Eagles have been struggling. Dallas is not good on the road. One of these teams is going to be on the road facing either the Bucs or the Saints. How nervous are you if you're one of those NFC East teams going to that NFC South champion?
Well, I mean, they should win, but I mean, again, the Eagles just lost to the Cardinals, so I mean, the whole bets are kind of off too as well. So I mean, you lose to a Cardinals, who a team that is getting better. I mean, especially since Kyler Murray's been in there. But one thing that should worry you is the way Baker Mayfield has played. I think he's the comeback player of the year. I know a lot of people have talked about Joe Flacco, and it's been a great story of him helping them lead the Browns to the playoffs. But I think what Baker Mayfield has done throughout the course of the entire season shouldn't be slept on. And I think anytime you have the offensive firepower that they do have, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and the people they have offensively, they got a shot to surprise some teams, and especially if they play the Eagles team that's been really struggling, as I alluded to, rushing the passer. I think they would have a puncher's chance and a really opportunity to possibly win that matchup in advance.
Antwan Staley, New York Daily News, joining us, talking NFL final week of the regular season and the playoff picture, and a big one in the AFC East. Shirley Rhodes Dolphins taking on the Bills, and the Bills are a 3-point favorite in this game in Miami. And is that because of what Shirley alluded to yesterday, injuries with the Dolphins, Antoine?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Raheem Mostert's been hurt. Obviously, Bradley Chubb is now out for the season. Jalen Phillips is now out for the season. Xavier Howard is not going to play against Buffalo. So now you're putting a lot of, pressure on the guys that you do have defensively, and Jalen Ramsey. And, last time I saw Jalen Ramsey try to cover Stephon Diggs, it was a bloodbath there when Ramsey was part of the Rams. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge for the Dolphins. I know anyway it was going to be a challenge, but now you got all these defensive players out. And also, quite frankly, Tua's not playing particularly well. I mean, you look at his record, historically in December and January, it's not great. His numbers aren't they're not the same as what they were earlier this year. So I feel like everything's setting up for the Bills to possibly take this game, get into the playoffs, and, they could be one of the dangerous teams in the AFC. I can tell you, if Buffalo gets in at a 2 seed if they beat Miami, yeah, I think they will be the team I really look to that could possibly beat Baltimore on the road. They think they're that good, and they have injuries too as well. But since the offensive coordinator change with Joe Brady to Ken Dorsey, they look like a completely different team.
Antoine, I like the way the AFC South sets up, because we're going to get that Saturday night game between the Texans and Colts. Winner of that stays alive to see what Jacksonville does the following day. So if Jacksonville wins on Sunday, doesn't matter what happens in the Texans-Colts game. If Jacksonville loses Sunday, the Texans-Colts winner advances to the playoffs. And kind of shame on the Jags, right, for still this being in doubt. It feels like they should have gone ahead and punched their ticket a long time ago. Instead, they got to beat the Titans. And then who comes out of that Texans-Colts game? How about the Gardner Minshew and the Colts putting themselves in this situation?
When Anthony Richardson went down, I don't know if a lot of people thought the Colts would be in this situation, but Gardner Minshew's made a lot of money, and I definitely think he's setting up well where he might be able to go in somewhere and decide next year and possibly get a starting opportunity. I mean, I think he's proven enough this year that he's worthy of at least getting an opportunity to start somewhere. What that is, I'm not necessarily sure, but I definitely think he can. But what the Colts have done has been nothing short of impressive there. And then obviously you talk about the Texans and C.J. Stroud and how well he's performed there. I know he was suffered a concussion not too long ago, but the fact that they're in this situation, the big Ryan's first year, is truly tremendous. So I think both of these coaches, Shane Steichen for the Colts and also DeMeco Ryans, the deserve some consideration for Coach of the Year, especially if they were to find a way to get into the playoffs. I mean, just that whole division. I know everybody was just ready to hand it to Jacksonville, but of course, that hasn't been that's been far from the case. And now you got 3 teams vying for one spot and potentially, could get into the playoffs. And one of them could also sneak into a wild card too, depending on what might happen, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, still alive for that as well, and Mike Tomlin's team still alive as they always are this time of year. Steelers are 9-7. I don't know what kind of help they need, but they're not eliminated yet, Antoine, which is the situation they seem to always be in. And what a weird year. I guess a down year. I mean, just with all the quarterback injuries and things like that, it has not been the prettiest year for football across the board.
It has not. To answer your question, the Steelers need either the Bills or the Jaguars to lose in order to get into the playoffs. Well, both of them, actually. They need both of those teams to lose. And so that's how they can advance to get in. But, yeah, it's been the year of the backup quarterback. I mean, all these injuries. Obviously we got Joe Flacco who was sitting on the couch, comes in and, helping lead Cleveland to the playoffs. We talked about guarding the bench too there. I mean, it's been just insane the amount of quarterback injuries we've had. I don't know if I've seen a year where it's been that many that have been able that come at this particular at one time, to be quite honest with you. But, teams have found a way that's why I think it's important to not only have a solid backup quarterback, but also to have a guy a good emergency quarterback, because you never know what might happen in that situation where you're going to have injuries. And, you look at a team like the Jets where Aaron Rodgers goes down 4 plays, they stuck with Zach Wilson, and look where he got him. Got him to a 6-10 record and out of the playoffs for the 13th consecutive years. But I think they've learned that you can't just roll in with any backup quarterback and expect them to win. You got to have somebody that can, win your games and, keep things afloat when your starter goes down.
And Antoine, let me clarify, because Colts fan Jamie in the chat brings this up, and you brought it up as well, as one of those AFC South teams can be the wild card. So the winner of Colts Texans is in. If Jacksonville loses, the winner of that game will be the South champion. If Jacksonville wins, that AFC South team will be a wild card. So either way, the AFC South could potentially get 2 teams in, although if Jacksonville loses, that's how Pittsburgh can open up a spot. If everybody, Chandler, you understand all this?
I'm a little mixed up here.
Well, Antoine's got all the scenarios, so go to New York Daily News. He'll have you figured out. But that's what makes this week fun. You've got a lot of ifs and buts and what happens, and 14 teams going to find themselves in the playoffs, including you mentioned Joe Flacco, those Cleveland Browns. And what kind of chance do you give a Browns or a Rams or a Lions to make a run in this year's playoffs? Is it open enough for those teams to make a run, Antoine, or do you think it's top heavy with San Fran and Baltimore?
Well, as I alluded to, same thing with the 49ers, Rams. You can play Baltimore, and they know each other really well, and Cleveland has the best defense in football. So anytime you have defense travels, running game travels, you have a veteran quarterback who's been a Super Bowl MVP, although, he's not the player that he once was, but Cleveland doesn't need him to be. They just need him to be, efficient with the football and also, be able to move the ball down the field. And I think Joe Flacco, although he does have a lot of turnovers, but I definitely think he's done enough to help them possibly, make a run at a potential Super Bowl. So, yeah, I think I give Cleveland an opportunity. I think they're just as dangerous as Buffalo in the AFC, too. It's just a matter of, their lack of playoff experience. Although, they've made the playoffs, 4 years ago, but still it's been a little while since they've been in. So that's my only worry outside of Flacco. But, yeah, I think the Rams have a shot. I think the Lions have a shot, too. So, yeah, I think there'll be a Browns and Lions for me. The two teams that I believe that can, go on a run and also, upset somebody's playoff pool this year.
Antoine, we'll talk to you hopefully multiple times between now and the draft, but we'll definitely talk to you again. But way too early draft question. What team ends up one way or the other, whether it's picking where they're spotted or a trade? What team ends up with Caleb Williams in this year's NFL draft?
I think it's going to be the Bears. I really do. Although it seems like they might be bringing the coaching staff back, so they might open the door for Justin Fields to possibly return. But they're going to have 2 high draft picks, and they're going to have their own, and they're going to also have Carolina's at number 1. So I think everything I hear is they're going to take him number 1, and then I think all the quarterback board is going to fall after that. I mean, you got the Patriots there with a quarterback issue there. I'm curious to see what Washington decides to do, because Sam Howell, I liked him at one point in time. I know you're a Washington fan, but I don't know if I'm totally secure he's going to be the future of that team. And then I imagine there'll be a coaching change too. So it's about who comes in and coach, and do they like Sam Howell. So they could be in the market for a quarterback. The Giants could be in the market for a quarterback. I think it's going to be a lot of quarterback needy teams in that top 10, and we might end up seeing 4 of them taken really early. And Michael Penix is still here for Washington. A lot of people are concerned about his injury history, but man, his ball placement, he can chuck it better than anybody. And I think you kind of saw that against Texas. So I think he's going to continue to climb the draft boards, and somebody's going to take a chance on him, possibly maybe in the teens, if not higher, because he's been that good, especially on Monday night against Texas.
Antoine Staley joining us, talking NFL here on a Wednesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Follow Antoine on Twitter at Antwan Staley, and he's still covering the Jets, one final regular season game, and I feel like there's more talk about Aaron Rodgers, the person, than there is about the Jets out there.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of things going on. Some things I prefer not to even talk about.
There you go. I got you. Antoine, thanks for joining us as always, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, man. All right, there is Antoine Staley. Jamie says Houston and Indy both hold the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh, so Pittsburgh can't get in even if Jacksonville loses. All right, well, I'm looking at Steelers playoff scenarios. The Steelers have 5 playoff scenarios entering their regular season finale in Baltimore. Steelers win and the Colts-Texans tie. They get in. I'm just reading this from CBS Sports. Steelers win and a Buffalo loss. Steelers win and a Jacksonville loss or tie. Steelers tie and Colts and Texans do not tie and Jaguars lose.
A lot of ties.
Tie? Even if the Steelers lose, Colts and Texans do not tie, Jaguars lose, Broncos win. So there's a path for the Steelers somehow, some way. My brain can't handle it.
I don't know. There's a lot going on this weekend when it comes to playoff scenarios, and
I can't wait to watch Red Zone.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2. Coming up hour 3, Holton Ahlers joins us on Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Got that on the way. More to go. Back with you after this.
Here with Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. It's a great time to buy a used vehicle.
It's not a great time, it's a perfect time to buy a used car from Brown & Wood. We have over 115 used vehicles in stock, and we're number 1 in the market on price. We have limited lifetime powertrain on all of our used cars under 80,000 miles, so go to brownandwoodauto.com to find out more. 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
Wings Over has always been a great go-to for dinner or a late-night snack, and it still is. But did you know you don't have to wait for dinner to get Wings Over? That's right. Wings Over Greenville is now open for lunch 7 days a week. Get Wings Over for lunch and have it delivered right to the office. Wings Over also caters so everyone at work can enjoy. Wings Over Greenville has over 20 flavors to choose from, including the limited edition Cajun garlic flavor. Order today by going online at wingsover.com or by calling 758-9464. Wings Over, they deliver.
And there was 2 seagulls!
We're here for the booty.
Party?
Pirate Water is here. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find pirate water in a location near you.
We're going plankton!
Pirate Water is here. 21 and older, please drink responsibly.
When you walk through the doors of Villa Verde, you'll experience the sights, sounds, and smells of authentic Dominican flavors. This is Jay from Villa Verde, inviting you to come by and try one of our amazing empanadas. Our famous red snappers, grouper bites, seafood paella, Cuban sandwiches, and much, much more. Relax on the patio with a fresh mojito or cold beer while enjoying one of our out-of-this-world desserts, like our rum pineapple cake or our famous tres leches. Villa Verde on 10th Street, a platform for good, and a proud supporter of the Pirate Nation.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals, reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
North Carolina State Parks invites you to enjoy camping your way. With the weather changing, booking your own cabin is the perfect solution for your camping getaway. Reserve campsites or cabins today at Jones Lake, Goose Creek, and Cliffs of the Neuse. Whether you enjoy traditional camping or air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi, your next adventure can include hiking, beautiful scenery, and sunsets by the campfire. For information on booking a cabin, visit ncparks.gov.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulf of Mexico, a huge 38-ounce lime margarita for only $8.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
This is Carter Spivey, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Down on Main Street, Washington's favorite place to eat and where all the locals go. Join Down on Main Street every Wednesday for half-price wings from 4 p.m. to close. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day, and they have 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations, serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live. Jamie says, so the Colts could jump Buffalo if they lose and the Colts win? Look, Jamie, you're the Colts fan. Google it up. As you just found out a segment ago, there are a million playoff scenarios, and I can't grasp them all. So I'm going to give you the homework of you telling me what seeds the Colts can be in the playoffs. I think it's amazing we're talking about the Colts being in the playoffs, but credit to them.
With Anthony Richardson being out literally just about all year.
And how about these teams with the drafted quarterbacks, Chandler? Colts, Texans, being in a playoff scenario. Panthers. Wait.
Oh, good one.
Not the Panthers. That's got a... I don't know. You got so many issues right now.
We have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
It's literally at the top.
We didn't even mention David Tepper received his fine.
Oh, yeah. What, $5 for him? Not even that. I saw that it's less than 1% of his net worth. Yeah. $300,000.
So a guy that's worth $20 billion-ish?
I would love to have $300,000 be less than 1% of my total salary or my total worth.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord.
I saw, is it Rick Sorensen from the Charlotte Observer? He used to come on the show. Tom Sorensen said that David Tepper should be suspended. I was like, how do you suspend an owner? What do you tell him to do?
Not show up to the game. I mean, what? I don't know. I agree.
Booted out of his office for a week. Like, how do you suspend an NFL owner? Does he not get paid for all those people buying Bryce Young jerseys for a week? I don't know how you suspend an owner.
Seems like there's no point to it. Period.
Yeah. So David Tepper, $300,000 for throwing a drink on a fan. You know that if that's the price, I think he should do more of this. I think that should be his new move, like his wrestling finisher. Throws a drink on a guy.
Now, you know who's getting paid for that today? You know who's having to pay the price today? Players. Because I've seen it all over Twitter.
Answering questions.
Answering questions
the
about the
interim
situation.
head coach.
Yeah. Chris Tabor was asked about it today. I think, David Newton from ESPN, who's been covering the Panthers for some years, asked him about if this is one of your players that did this, what would you think? So it's like a tough spot for Chris Tabor and some of these players. Shaq Thompson was asked. Shaq Thompson hasn't played since like week 3 or 4, and he's being asked about David Tepper's incident, and he's basically saying, he doesn't condone, people throwing drinks on other people.
Oh, that's nice. Holton Ahlers joins us. Holton, how many times did you want to throw a drink on a fan?
Quite a few times. Quite a few times in my career.
But you did.
Well, at least you didn't.
Yeah, I can't handle that fine right there. I don't know what the college football one is, but not that.
You got some sense in you, and you don't have that kind of money.
Yeah,
to be
absolutely.
throwing drinks at folks. So, Holton Ahlers is going to join us hour 3 of the show. Kenny Curlings wants to know, Holton, what number are you going to be wearing so he can order his Arlington Renegades jersey?
I'm not sure yet, Kenny, but I will let you know as soon as I find out.
We will talk about Holton Ahlers joining the UFL and what that entails. Also, the Holton Ahlers Show coming to Pirate Radio soon. We'll talk about that and everything else going on in the world of football and sports coming up hour number 3. Holton Ahlers joins us in the Pirate Radio studios. Back with you after this.
Time best-selling author, keynote speaker, and global influencer John Gordon is coming to Greenville in March. John was ranked number 6 as one of the top leadership speakers in the world and will be our featured guest at the Pirate Radio Luncheon on Monday, March 18th. Hey, John, tell us more about your upcoming visit.
Hey, Pirate Nation. John Gordon here. I am so excited about coming to Greenville, North Carolina and East Carolina University March 18th, where I'm going to talk about ways to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership, and build a stronger team. We're going to activate the positive competitive advantage together. I hope to see you there. Go Pirates.
Don't miss out on this huge opportunity to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership skills, and create a better future for you and your team. To reserve a table, contact me, Jonathan Ellerby, at ellerby@pirateradio1250.com. We look forward to seeing you in March.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular, so you can connect with all your family members this holiday season. You can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
For years, Callie Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
The name you can depend on. Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you one.
The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of pirates in eastern North Carolina. Open 7 days a week with live music, Monday through Wednesday, acoustic night. Thursday, we have line dancing from 7 to 9, followed by karaoke with DJ Dog. On Friday and Saturday night, enjoy the best local bands in the area. And don't forget, Sunday Fun Day during football season with NFL jersey giveaways and more. Check out Facebook and Instagram for all up-to-date information and band schedules. Y'all come get bucked up.
The holiday season is a special time of year, one that is meant to be spent with family, friends, and loved ones, offering a heart filled with gratitude, joy, and hope. Pitt County Schools is thankful for a community that inspires our students by providing growth opportunities and investing in our teachers and staff with continued support. The arrival of a new year also presents a fresh beginning. So if you are interested in creating a rewarding future by becoming engaged with an award-winning school system that is centered around educational and leadership advantages, we are hiring. Pitt County Schools encourages you to become a part of our team to help ensure success for the posterity of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, please visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. Grow minds and invest in our future through 38 schools and one community.
I'm Caleb Stroud, the founder of Stroud's Marine. I grew up on the water and I've loved boating my entire life. In 2012, I decided to give back to the marine community by creating a way for boaters to order pre-owned salvaged marine parts online. Stroud's Marine was born to offer incredible prices and unparalleled customer service. We stand behind every part we sell, and our mission is to save you money and get you back on the water as quickly as possible. Visit StroudsMarine.com today for more information. Stroud's Marine, your best source for salvaged outboard parts.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Washington's favorite place to eat and where all the locals go is down on Main Street. Down on Main Street's famous weekday lunch specials are only $7.99. You could stop by for the house salad with grilled chicken, the half club sandwich with chips, or everyone's favorite, the fried shrimp plate. After work, Down on Main is the perfect spot for dinner and drinks on the patio. Join Down on Main every Wednesday for half-price wings from 4 p.m. to close. Down on Main Street in historic downtown Washington. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, back with you, Pirate Radio Live here on a Wednesday. Clip Rock, Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt, the Big Dog Glenn Griffin, and Holton Ahlers joining us inside the Pirate Radio studios. We've got a lot to talk about with Holton. Happy New Year to you. How you doing, Holt?
Happy New Year, man. Doing good. Excited for the new year and things coming with it. Get to keep playing some football. Get to start a podcast soon. So exciting year coming ahead.
A lot going on. Let's talk here locally first and talk about the Holton Ahlers Show, which is coming to Pirate Radio. We are excited about it. Been excited about it for a while, and it's about to become a reality. So when will the first show be dropping?
The 11th, next Thursday. The Holton Ahlers Show will be dropping on YouTube, all podcast platforms, and then the next day on Pirate Radio as well. So excited about that, and excited to get it going.
And once again, you'll be doing this show with the walk-ons. Tell everybody your crew.
Yeah, Caden Norman, former ECU quarterback, Jack Powers, former ECU linebacker, and Drew Dotter, former ECU defensive back. So we got a cool crew. We're going to have a lot of fun guests on. Got a lot of fun playing ones. Next Thursday will just be us, so you can kind of get used to us, get used to the segments, and then from there we'll go with some guests and make it fun.
That's awesome. So debuting next Thursday on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. We'll also air it here on the Pirate Radio airwaves, the Holton Ahlers Show coming up. And then the other piece of big news, Holton, is you are a part of the new UFL. So the XFL, the USFL have combined into one league, the UFL, and you have been signed by the Arlington Renegades.
I have, yeah. I'm excited to keep playing some football, have a chance to get back into the NFL if I have a good year. So should be exciting. You know, I had a couple offers play for some different teams. I had a couple offers to go play in Canada, but thought the best opportunity for me to play for a good team in a good league, and a lot of excitement around the league. So excited about that.
When does the league begin, and what's on your calendar as far as football duties?
Yeah, so March 30th is the first game between us and the Stallions, the winner of the USFL, and then I leave for Dallas. I'll be living in Dallas, and I leave there. I report February 23rd. So we got about a month of camp, 5 weeks of camp, and then it's go time.
Is Skip still with Birmingham?
He is, yeah.
All
so
right.
I had a couple calls with them and their GM, but they actually have one of Skip's old college quarterbacks is there that they feel good about. So I decided to go with Arlington.
And it feels like this league is on pretty good footing now, right? So you've got a USFL conference and an XFL conference, and combining everything they've got, the resources, things like that, still backed by The Rock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so
The Rock is still
financially you're there, TV deal is there. I bring that up because Bryce Williams, who joins us every week, was a part of the AAF, which did not make it through a full year, and he just talked about how football, you tried to focus on practice and stuff, but you didn't have your uniforms and equipment and stuff like that. Feels like you're not going to have to worry about that little stuff here in this
I
league.
sure hope not.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be. Obviously it's not the NFL, so there's not that much money into it, but there is a lot of money into it, and obviously with The Rock, and then the two leagues combining, there's going to be a lot of good competition. Look, there's only 8 teams now. There used to be, with 2 different leagues, there was up to 20 teams, and players were split up, but now it's 8 teams, and the best players that aren't in the NFL are going to be playing in this league.
Have you talked to your head coach?
Yes, I have.
Bob Stoops.
We've talked. So I'm working on getting him on the podcast as well once I get up there.
And very interesting list of head coaches here. Skip Holtz, Curtis Johnson. Do I know his name from Tulane, I want to say, in New Orleans maybe? I don't know, maybe. Mike Nolan was certainly an NFL coach, defensive coordinator for years. Wade Phillips is a legend. Anthony Becht, former Jets tight end. So a lot of names involved here in the UFL, which will begin coming up later on this calendar year, and Holton Ahlers will be a part of that. Let me ask you a maybe unanswerable, difficult question, Holton. And I'm going to be honest with you. There were times during your ECU career where I did not look at Holton Ahlers as an NFL quarterback.
All right.
But
we'll add you to the list.
The way you finished your career, what you did in the All-Star games, and most notably what you did in the preseason, where you absolutely belonged and showed that, my tune changed. I was like, yeah, Holton certainly has a place in the NFL. So why, especially in a year where we have all these quarterback injuries and quarterbacks go down, did you not get that call? I'm pretty baffled by it. I'm sure you are as well, right?
Yeah, it's a weird, NFL is a weird business, and it's a lot about who you know. A lot of these guys who are getting calls are guys that are vets now, that are older guys. I got literally told by Seattle that they just wanted a guy with more experience.
Yeah.
Also got told that they were going to call me back. That's another story. They never did, but they ended up getting a guy with experience. But that's what I'm going to do now with the UFL is I'm going to go get experience, so teams can't say that anymore. And, like you said, I felt like I played good in the preseason to show, and I had a really good camp, too, to show that, I am an NFL quarterback. But for some reason, they wanted a guy with more experience, which, look, if they said they wanted a guy that was right-handed or anything like that, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. They wanted a faster guy, I could work on it, but I can't make myself have more experience, but get more experience. So that's what I'm going to go do. And then, look, this is my last shot. I want to go out there and play and just have fun. And, if it unfolds where, I play really well and, which I think I will do and have a shot back at the NFL, then if it happens, it happens. But, I'm happy with the way my career has been and, excited for this next venture.
A great answer with experience and also the relationships answer. I think about when our friend Terrence Copper used to come on and talk about how he formed a relationship early on with Todd Haley. And as soon as Todd Haley got a head coaching job, Terrence was one of the first guys he called and said, hey, I want you here. And you bring in your guys. So, like, if Donnie Kirkpatrick was an assistant with the Seahawks or Latrell Scott or, you form those relationships, you really don't have that with a lot of NFL coaches right now. So
and that's how it is. And the guys that are getting signed are literally guys who were kind of like you said, that maybe their OC from their rookie year ends up being a head coach or something like that. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, I did build some relationships when I was there, but also, like, in the NFL, a lot of it's the GM and stuff, unless you are a head coach. Head coaches and GM have a lot, but position coaches just got to coach whoever's in the room. So, you know, I had a great relationship, obviously, with Pete, but, I mean, he's not really controlling who the third quarterback is. You know, I mean, he's more involved with the guys that are playing as much. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I always wonder about this too. Do you look at the Seahawks and say, man, those are my buddies now, go Seahawks? Or do you have a bitter taste when you see the Seahawks play on Sunday?
I cheer for my boys. I mean, I'm still close with a lot of them. I'm really close with Drew, and when he was playing well, that was cool, and got a chance to talk to him. So a lot of those guys that are playing are good dudes, and most of them really are, and even the coaches too. So I don't have anything negative to say about them.
Yeah. Holton Ahlers joining us, not burning any bridges here on Pirate Radio Live. That's smart. But joining the UFL. And you kind of said it there. So you're going to keep this football career alive and get that experience, and it's going to be fun. Do you know how many quarterbacks Arlington has? Like, are you set to be the starter, or you got a battle?
Yeah, so they won the championship last year with a veteran guy in the spring leagues. He hasn't played too much in the NFL, so they kind of got a veteran guy. But from what the GM told me and what the coaches told me is they want someone young to come in and kind of win the job. So it's going to be an open competition. You know, I had offers to go to other places where I probably could have, you know, been the starter walking in and not have to worry about it. But they weren't as good teams, didn't have as good offensive linemen and organizations, you know, guys, coaches, and GM, stuff like that. So I picked somewhere where I'm going to have to go compete, which I'm not afraid of. I never have been. So I'm just going to go and be myself, and, you know, hopefully that's enough.
And I guess you kind of said this path with the UFL is a little, you think, bit of an easier one than the CFL, perhaps, getting to the NFL?
Getting to the NFL, yeah, just because the UFL is literally set up to get guys back into the NFL, whereas the CFL is more of a career.
Right.
CFL plays the same time around. They mix and match the same time with the NFL, so it's hard to, like, if I played that, I would play next season, and then the next season I would get an NFL shot, rather than I can play this spring and get back into it next NFL season.
You could be in a camp, like after your season, which we've seen, I think, like Garrett McGinn do several times.
He's a teammate of mine too, so he's with Arlington.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where's Josh Hawkins? Is he?
He was with Arlington.
Yeah,
for a little bit,
I know he suffered an injury last year.
I think I don't know if he's still signed with them, but I know he played with them for a little bit as well.
Yeah, so got a little pirate flavor there. That's pretty cool. Holton Ahlers joining us inside the Pirate Radio studios. You got a question for Holton, you can get it in. Ryan says it's like the job market. You need experience to get experience.
Yep,
well
absolutely.
Said. Steve says Holton should intern at Pirate Radio on the side. He kind of bypassed the internship and went right to hosting a show. So he's on the fast track there. Yeah, the Holton Ahlers Show debuting next week right here on Pirate Radio, and where you get your podcast, and here on Pirate Radio TV, which we hit that 3,000 subscriber mark. We want to keep that number growing, so hit that like, hit that subscribe, and be a part of our family here at Pirate Radio. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll have more with Holton. We'll get his thoughts on what transpired on Monday, our somewhat surprising championship matchup. We'll talk about that and a lot more when we return. Pirate Radio Live, back with you on a Wednesday after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Holton Ahlers, and the countdown is on for the launch of the Holton Ahlers Show right here on Pirate Radio. I've got a ton of stories, big name guests, and more ready to go right here in January. Plus, we'll have plenty of sports knowledge and laughs each week from the walk-ons Caden Norman, Drew Dotter, and Jack Powers. Subscribe to Pirate Radio TV on YouTube today, and we'll see you in January right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
There's local politics, bud.
Here with Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. It's a great time to buy a used vehicle.
It's not a great time, it's a perfect time to buy a used car from Brown & Wood. We have over 115 used vehicles in stock, and we're number one in the market on price. We have limited lifetime powertrain on all of our used cars under 80,000 miles, so go to brownandwoodauto.com to find out more. 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
Turkey, ham, bacon, these and other meats are great around the holidays and every other day, but they all leave behind grease when you cook them, and grease is a real pain in the drain. When you pour grease down a drain, it cools and can clog sewer lines. That can lead to sewer spills, which are messy, bad for the environment, and can also be expensive. Never pour grease down the drain. Instead, collect it in a container like a used soup can or jar. Let it cool and throw it away in the trash. Together, we can protect our sewer system and the environment. For more information, go to guc.com.
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
Are you struggling with weight loss? It might be 15 pounds or 115 pounds. It seems like losing weight involves too much exercise and not enough food. Well, no more. Semaglutide is an FDA-approved treatment offered by ArcPoint Labs. Dr. John Bruce, a board-certified bariatric surgeon, will consult and oversee your entire weight loss journey. Transform yourself and get ready for the beach next summer. This program is safe, cost-effective, and has a physician oversight. Call ArcPoint Labs today at 514-8049.
This is Brian Harris with 360 Golf Carts, Pitt County's go-to shop for all things golf carts. We have E-Z-Go, club car, and utility carts to choose from. Whether it's for the beach, riding around the neighborhood, or working in the yard, 360 Golf Carts has the perfect ride for you. If you have issues with your current cart, take it by my shop for an expert's diagnosis. From parts to sales to service, we have you covered. We will even deliver right to you. So come see me, Brian Harris, on Highway 43, just past D.H. Conley High School. 360 Golf Carts, Pirates supporting Pirates.
Familia is your go-to spot for the best Italian dishes around, including pizzas, pastas, salads, and homemade desserts.
That's Familia.
Enjoy half-off wine night on Wednesdays, $3 drafts on Thursdays, or get a pizza of the week for just $12.
That's Familia.
Place your order online or call 689-6330, and Familia will have your order ready in their drive-thru window for pickup.
That's Familia.
Clip, really?
Oh, sorry.
Familia on Fire Tower Road in Winterville near Pitt Community College.
The best place to go before hitting the water is Pirate Waters Outfitter in Washington. This is Captain Bo Brooks, and at Pirate Waters Outfitters, we are the best specialty store in eastern North Carolina for fly fishing with the best rods and reels. We have a custom rod and net builder right on site, Camacho Rod Works. Look your best with some of our new outdoor apparel. Everything you need to chase fish on the fly is at Pirate Waters Outfitter on Market Street, right next door to Breaking Bread. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. We are Pirate Waters Outfitters.
This is Ryan McChrystal from ECU Baseball, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Russell's in downtown Washington is the place to shop for all of your clothing needs, whether it's the great collection of men's suits and sport coats, the beautiful dresses and casual attire for women, or the new collection of Barbara outerwear for both men and women. Russell's has you covered. Russell's Clothing has served eastern North Carolina and beyond for over 40 years. Russell's Clothing on Main Street in downtown Washington. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, back with you, Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Holton Ahlers joining us. Ryan says Noah Henderson also listed on Arlington's roster.
Yeah.
Big Noah.
Big Noah's coming with me, yeah.
Awesome. Spent some time in Buffalo's camp, I believe.
Yep.
And look, everybody trying to get that spot. And boy, Garrett McGinn's great to talk to when we get him on the show because he's been through it all. He has been
you ain't lying.
On so many practice squads, preseason rosters. He's been in these leagues. And if anybody wants to talk about the business of pro football,
he knows it.
He knows it. Yeah. And Holden's experienced a little bit of that since leaving East Carolina as well. Speaking of the business of football, college football, huge business. And Holden, what is your overall take? Because you played in and won a bowl game for East Carolina for the first time in almost a decade. Yep. So that was a big deal. I'll say as a viewing fan, the games, when I say the games don't matter, I mean, if you win, you don't advance to anything. If you lose, either way, your season's over. So from that standpoint, it doesn't matter. It certainly matters to you guys, the coaches, things like that. How about being out of it for a year? Did you watch a lot of bowls this year? What's your take on the bowls?
I watched a good bit of them. I think it's good for your fan bases. I mean, I think like it matters if like it mattered to ECU when we got to a bowl game when we won, and then it mattered to these teams that I guess I'm watching a high school one now, but whatever bowl games that are on, like I mean, I think that it matters to their fan bases. Now, do I think that some of them are not pointless, but you're watching them, and if you're not one of those fans and you're not betting on the game, then why is it a bowl game? But at the same time, I mean, it does matter to these kids, and then I mean, it certainly mattered to us. And like you said, we kind of broke a bowl streak. I mean, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. I remember winning it, and then if you win, you get a ring too. So I mean, you'll have that for the rest of your life. So I mean, I definitely think they're not meaningless, but I mean, like you said, I haven't really thought about you don't advance. This is your last game, but that's also a cool thing for some players. Some of these guys are that's their last chance to play ball. So I mean, I think they definitely matter. I
will say I was into what happened on Monday night and the playoff games, and we saw two. I don't know if I want to say good games, close games. They were sloppy. I was shocked to see games like 14-15 for some of these teams, and we're seeing the special teams miscues, and McCarthy comes out, throws a pick on the first play, and boy, it's a game of inches. That one could have got away from Michigan early. He gets called back, and they're able to recoup a little bit. But how about Michigan, a team that East Carolina saw this year, knocking off Bama? A great drive at the end of the game to win that one. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good game. And, the sloppiness, you also got to think these guys haven't played in about a month. You're used to playing every single week, and then you have a month off, whether you're practicing or not. And a lot of these bowl practices, the young guys get some practice until about 2 weeks into it, 2 weeks out of the game day. So the sloppiness didn't surprise me too much. And then also, like, it was kind of weird. Texas, like, they used a true freshman guy that they hadn't used returning punts, and same with Michigan, the guy that fumbled the first punt return. They're like, this is his first punt return of the season with a freshman. I'm like, well, why are you sticking him back there now? You're in the playoff, dude. Like, why are you putting new guys out there? So the sloppiness, some of it I feel like didn't surprise me, and then like I said, those decisions to put those guys back there, that was a little questionable. Those are coaching decisions, maybe more so than the players being sloppy in those cases. Texas losing to Washington as a lefty. Like, do you like other lefty quarterbacks? When you watch Penix, are you like, yeah, that's my guy? Yeah, no, I do. I really hadn't had a chance to watch them too much this year because they play so late at night, but I was really impressed. I'd seen them a little bit at Indiana, and I had an offer from Indiana, so I knew kind of their coaching staff when he was there, so I watched a little bit of their games. I was really impressed with him then, and then he's only gotten better from there. I mean, Jaden Daniels had a really good year, but Penix had a great year. If he played like that all year, I mean, he was super impressive. And Texas is a good football team. Yeah, they were kind of banged up in the secondary, and they didn't have the best secondary in the country, but they're still a playoff team, and beat some really, really good teams. So the way that he made them look was really impressive. We'll get to Michigan, Washington in a moment, but like your show could be, it's a free-flowing conversation. Absolutely. And you mentioned Indiana offering you. What other schools offered you, Holton, to be a quarterback? Oh, I mean, literally every school offered me to be a quarterback. So the myth of whatever person tweeted out that or made it up that I never got offered as a tight end in my career. The only team that even mentioned anything about that was Syracuse. Okay. And they said that they didn't offer left-handed quarterbacks, and they thought I was a good athlete. But other than that, all quarterback. That is, I feel like you could sue them for discrimination or something. That's so how about the Alabama 12th hour call? Let's speaking of myths, we always like Nick Saban called you like last minute trying to get you to Bama. Morning of signing day. Yes. So I was supposed to sign at 3:00 in the afternoon. And once all that happened, them and Florida offered me. Dan Mullen was recruiting me in Mississippi State, and then literally got the job at Florida within like a couple hours. They offered me there. So once I told Coach Mo that and Coach Peterson, who were here, they were like, yeah, could you sign the next morning? Like, could you sign at 8 a.m. the next morning? So I knew I was going there. I mean, it definitely made me think about it, but at the same time, like, I wasn't going to go to Bama at all. Florida made me think about it a little bit just because I'm a Tebow fan, grew up watching Tebow and all that, but never been there.
Now, you weren't going to sign at Bama because
just their offense didn't fit me. I mean, they ran same with Georgia. Georgia offered me a couple months before signing day, and they run a pro-style offense. Not that it wouldn't fit me, but what I was trying to play in college was more of an up-tempo spread offense where I could kind of show what I could do, and ECU definitely fit that 100 times more.
Man, so Holton Ahlers, that if you're a Pirate fan, you've got to like hearing that spurned some of those offers. So, like Florida, just because of the Tebow connection, what other school? I know Dave Doran was pretty hot after you.
They definitely their coach is definitely recruited. Like if ECU wasn't ECU, I would have went to state in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
After watching the State Carolina game, I almost tweeted out something nice about Dave Doran, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. How do you like him personally?
I think he's a good dude. Obviously, it's hard to cheer for a guy if you're a fan as a rival. So,
yeah.
I see where people, he's definitely edgy and stuff like that.
You're right. Yeah.
From when he was recruiting me, though, we had a good relationship. And even after, a lot of coaches kind of, would delete you off their social media and all that. And he wasn't one of those guys. Every time we played, he would come up and, dap me up, tell me good luck, and tell him, how proud he was of me in my career and stuff. So he was always super nice to me, and I appreciated kind of the way, because I called it the coaches that I didn't commit to on signing or on commitment day when I committed to ECU. I called him beforehand and let him know I was going to ECU. Just parents thought that was a good idea, and just kind of let him know so he didn't hear from someone else. So.
You handled everything the right way. Even you saying that you told Peterson and Coach Mo about these other schools coming after you. Like you had the communication going both ways.
Yeah, my thing was, I wanted someone. I knew I was going to be loyal to ECU, and I just wanted them to know that from the start, for one. And then, once I committed, I sat down with my family and look, I knew I committed before my senior year, so I knew I was going to get more offers. But I knew that ECU was the place I wanted to be, so I didn't really need to wait for those offers. And then a month later, after I commit, Georgia offers me, tries to get me to go on an official visit there, and didn't go because I knew I didn't want to be swayed in any other way than being a Pirate.
Holton Ahlers joining us. Kind of ironic that Dave Doran kept you, following you and stuff, because he did block me on the X.
Did he?
I don't remember why. I'm sure I deserved it, but yeah, Dave Doran's.
I've never understood that with college coaches. There's a few college coaches out there who block people. So I don't understand.
A lot of people I follow say the Lincoln Riley blocked them back in the day.
Yeah, so. I've heard that too. I've seen some screenshots of that.
Which I don't call that soft or anything. If I opened up my mentions, which if I was more famous and successful, maybe I wouldn't do it as much. But in the certain, position I'm in, I like interacting with people. If I opened it up and just saw people saying F you and stuff, I'd probably block a lot of people too.
I don't think I've ever blocked any. I think the only time I've ever really done that is if they said something about my family or safety or anything like that. But I really don't even think I blocked them then. I think I just deleted it and moved on with my life, because people are like that, are just trying to get attention. So, it is what it is. If you give them attention by blocking them, then they're just going to tweet a screenshot of it and give you attention. So
very true. Steve says, when entering the NFL draft, what source do players and agents use to protect their draft position? Fans see mock drafts everywhere. What do agents use? GM conversations. I don't know do you understand that question?
Kind of, not really.
Steve, can you clarify that question a little bit?
It was just asking about mock drafts and stuff. That's exactly what it is people just guessing. If you go to the mock drafts after the draft, they're nowhere close half the time. Some guys are really good at it, but they're also the guys that are making millions of dollars for ESPN who host the drafts. The normal people out there, 99.9% of mock drafts don't mean anything other than obviously the first round you might be able to pick, but after that, no one really knows.
I feel like somebody puts out one and somebody sees that and then tweaks it and makes it their own, and then it's just the domino effect after that. You mentioned Penix a moment ago. Daniels from LSU. Who's your favorite quarterback going into this year's draft? I've seen, of course, Drake May up there.
Yep.
Caleb Williams has been the number one for 2 years now. So what guys do you like?
Talent-wise, Caleb Williams you got to go with, in my opinion. I've seen some mock drafts with him going 6, and I think that's wild. He's as talented as any guy that's came out in a really long time. I know he's his personality might be a little weird. And he's
Right.
a California guy, or he's not even really a California guy, but now he is just from playing at SC. I don't know how you couldn't take him. Drake May's really, really talented. This quarterback class, honestly, is going to be pretty deep. They're going to have 5 or 6 guys that could, go and play next year.
And I've never been a huge Bo Nix guy. I felt like that away from home, he really struggles. Home, you can trust him. His numbers are absolutely ridiculous.
I was impressed with him the couple games that I watched a couple when they played Colorado. I was really impressed with him. He trains with the same quarterback trainer I've trained with, so I've been in contact with him. I've actually I camped with him in high school and stuff when he was in, so he's a good dude. But yeah, I've been impressed with him. Like you said, I wasn't too much when he was at Auburn, and even last year I thought he was kind of a system guy, but this year I think he really separated and kind of showed what he could do.
No doubt. Talking to Holton Ahlers here inside the Pirate Radio studios on a Wednesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Washington, Michigan. So Washington's defense has kind of been questioned all year long. I think it's a decent matchup because Michigan doesn't necessarily scare you offensively. They can certainly beat you down. I'm not saying they're bad, but it feels like a game where Washington could maybe hang in, and with Penix and that high-powered offense, what can they do against the Wolverines' defense? Fascinated to see that matchup. How do you think it plays out, Holt?
I want Washington to win personally. I think their offense is incredible. If they play anything like they did versus Texas and really all year, then they got a chance. Because if it turns into a shootout, which Michigan's defense is really good, but Michigan's not going to win a shootout, so they need to keep them below at least 30. And I'm pretty sure they've scored over 30 in almost all their games this year. So it's going to be tough on Michigan's defense. Now Washington's defense as well. It's you don't play really a pro style offense like that in the Pac-12, so you're going to have to stop the run, and I would just force Michigan to throw, which is kind of wild to say with McCarthy being a top draft prospect. But those 2 running backs that Michigan have are dangerous.
Holton Ahlers joining us. Coming up Monday, it will be Washington and Michigan for the national championship. Coming up next Thursday, the debut of the Holton Ahlers Show on Pirate Radio TV on YouTube, where you get your podcast, and we'll air it here on Pirate Radio as well. Jamie says, what is the best thing Morgan has taught Holton? That's a great question.
Great question.
Let's get to know Morgan Ahlers, the father.
You want a heart-to-heart here? He's taught me a lot of things. He's a great dad, and I've looked up to him my whole life. But to narrow it to one is impossible. But we've had a lot of great memories together, and I'll always cherish our memories of cheering for ECU when you're younger, and now this kind of next step of life of me playing, and then post playing too. You be able to talk ball with them, talk ECU sports. So just our conversations. I've always enjoyed it. I got to give a ton of credit to Morgan of how, you as a college kid and the way you handled things was great, but Morgan, the dad who wants to protect his son at all costs, and for him not to lose his mind the last 4 or 5 years. Been pretty incredible the way he's been able to handle things. So credit to Morgan for that. And, he came on this show, and if you threw 2 picks, we talked about that. If you threw for 404 touchdowns, we talked about that. So he knew kind of how it was going to be when you signed on to play here at ECU. Sure. But, man, he and, your whole family handled it as good as you could. Yeah, I was about to say, it's really all my whole family. He was behind the mic a lot and kind of in the spotlight, but my mom, my brother, my friends, my roommates, there was a lot of rough times, especially those early years, and really every loss is a hard time. Hate to say it, but you get all sorts of hate mail and everything, not just about you, like I said earlier. You get about your family too. So I knew I could deal with it, but for them to deal with it, I'm sure they 5 years was enough for them, and they couldn't go the 6 or 7 route like some of these quarterbacks are now. But yeah, we look back now and we cherish it, but there was times when it was super hard. Glad it certainly had a happy ending here at East Carolina. Let's take another break. We'll come back more with Holton Ahlers. He joins us here inside the Pirate Radio studios. More of your questions as well. Back with you on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Hello, this is Kelvin Rawls with Pest Tech at Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals. Most people think that winter slows down pests, but it actually brings them closer to your home and family. Pests increase foraging for food and shelter and are carriers for disease, harmful stings, and other problems to threaten and disrupt your life. Don't let fire ants or mice move in with you through the cold season. Call Chris Rhodes and Pest Tech and visit us online at pesttechgreenville.com. Let Pest Tech ensure that you have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas pest-free.
Here with Greg Lassiter from Champions Gym. And Greg, you've got a tremendous staff working for you with professional trainers. You've got classes like cycle, Pilates, muscle pump, Zumba. Talk about what you can bring to people like myself who's just getting back into the physical fitness world.
We've got all those classes, but the main thing we've got is a way for people to come in and feel comfortable. People, when they go in that gym, they feel like that is their home away from home.
Give the address and the phone number.
4190 Bayswater Drive, Winterville, 353-0544.
Champions Health and Fitness.
15-time best-selling author, keynote speaker, and global influencer John Gordon is coming to Greenville in March. John was ranked number 6 as one of the top leadership speakers in the world and will be our featured guest at the Pirate Radio Luncheon on Monday, March 18th. Hey, John, tell us more about your upcoming visit.
Hey, Pirate Nation. John Gordon here. I am so excited about coming to Greenville, North Carolina and East Carolina University March 18th, where I'm going to talk about ways to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership, and build a stronger team. We're going to activate the positive competitive advantage together. I hope to see you there. Go Pirates.
Don't miss out on this huge opportunity to enhance your mindset, improve your leadership skills, and create a better future for you and your team. To reserve a table, contact me, Jonathan Ellerby, at ellerby@pirateradio1250.com. We look forward to seeing you in March.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Have you heard? Greenville Auto World is under new ownership and is now part of the DriveHereNow.com network. DriveHereNow.com is run by local people who buy, service, detail, and sell everything directly to you. Greenville Auto World is now the 5th dealership to join the DriveHereNow.com network. Get car shopping today at DriveHereNow.com and choose a location near you. DriveHereNow.com, serving Eastern North Carolina for over 47 years and proud supporter of the Pirates.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Hey Pirate fans, did you know there are thousands of special needs children and adults right here in our community that loves ECU athletics as much as you do? Robbie's Clubhouse is a local nonprofit organization that can turn your unused ECU tickets into a fun day for a family with special needs. If you can't make it to the next Pirate game, simply call 1-800-DIAL-ECU and donate and designate your tickets for Robbie's Clubhouse. Go Pirates!
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of PIP Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 5-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growitpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. PIP, where business goes to grow.
This is Parker Bird from ECU Baseball, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. The Buccaneer Music Hall has all the fun for your Sunday Fun Day covered. Every Sunday, kick off the day at the Buck with the largest 4K screen in Greenville, along with 18 TVs, so you don't miss a game. They'll have mimosa specials, a Bloody Mary menu, and pizza all day from Pizza Hut. And don't forget the weekly jersey giveaway starting at 5 o'clock. Score every Sunday at the Buck. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live. Kicked off the show talking ECU basketball. Pirates losing to FAU last night on the road. Back home this Sunday, facing Tulsa, trying to pick up conference win number 1 on the year. The women took out some frustration after losing to South Carolina on Saturday by putting up 80-plus points last night in a victory over UTSA. So ECU women 1-0 in conference play. Holton, if you were put on the basketball court, let's say you're still in your prime, you're in your playing shape. What would your stat line look like in a college basketball game?
In college.
You pull down 3 rebounds, maybe?
3 fouls, 1 rebound, and getting benched after that.
So you played at Conley. How many years did you play at Conley?
I played 2 years. So I played my freshman year, my junior year. Kind of weird that was, but I love basketball. I always tell people if I could choose one sport to like go pro in and be good at, it'd be basketball. 100%. It doesn't kill your body as much. Can practice it on your own. I mean, I can't go throw to a wall.
True.
Well, I mean, I guess I could, but it probably wouldn't work out too well. So basketball seems to be the I've always thought that would be the funnest one to go pro in.
Holton Ahlers joining us, your old throwing buddy, and you've had a few of them, but Isaiah Winstead is still on with the Niners, right?
He got cut.
Oh no, when did he get cut?
About a week ago. Yeah.
Dang,
so
I didn't
trying to get him on with Arlington with me.
Oh man, well that would be cool. But Isaiah is so hopefully he'll jump on with the league. Who else? Keaton Mitchell. I know this week we posted his post surgery pictures and video. But man, what an impact he had with the Ravens.
He did, man. He's gonna have a really good career. He'll be back fine and better and faster than ever. Excited to see his career. I mean, we knew he was an NFL guy. We knew he was an all-world type guy when he was here. So anyone that's surprised that's not an ECU fan should just watch his college tape.
Yeah, no doubt. Ryan Jones, is he still with the Giants?
He's with the Giants, yep. So
nice.
He's doing good. Talked to him the other day. So, yeah.
CJ, where's CJ at now?
He's playing in the UFL with me. Not with me. He's playing for the Defenders.
All right, good deal. In D.C. Yep. So, trying to keep up with these former Pirates and where they are right now. Tyler Snead won a Grey Cup.
He did.
That was awesome.
Balled out, too, yeah.
Talked to him right before that Grey Cup, and he really enjoyed his time up there in Canada. We'll see if he continues to go that route or if he's back here in the States. A lot of options, which is is a good thing for guys now.
100%. Yeah, that was one of my things was like, choosing which league to play in, whether Canada or UFL, and just if your goal is to get back into the NFL, I thought it was a little bit better. My agent did too to play in the UFL and see the timing matches up better than the Canadian league does.
Holton Ahlers, former ECU quarterback, Arlington Renegades quarterback, hosts the Holton Ahlers Show. Josh added saying, "Why not add former Greenville Little League All-Star to Holton's banner?"
Why not?
We could. I mean, that's up to Holton, but Josh would like to see that added. Hey, Chandler, we got an invite from Halftime Don. He says, "How about a pregame meal with Halftime Steve and Courtside Don this Sunday?" He said, "Have Chandler get with Steve to let us know. You want to go eat with the old folks?" So, what time's the game? 3?
Yeah, it's at 3 o'clock.
So old people like them eat dinner at like 2 o'clock anyway in the afternoon, right? So we'll have dinner with you, Courtside Don. Sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
Be doing that. All right, we'll go check out some Pirate Hoops this Sunday. Holton, talked to Caton Hauser here on the show. Have you had any communication at all with Caton?
So I got to meet him. They wanted me to meet him when he came on a visit here, so I got a chance to sit down with him, just talk about what this community is, what ECU football is, and we've kind of communicated back and forth then. But seems like a good kid. Seems like he's invested into it, and look, we need a quarterback, so hopefully he's the guy.
From what I'm gathering from our 10-minute phone conversation and from what John David Baker said yesterday, seems very mature, and the buy-in, seems very serious about it.
Yeah, he does, and that's what I was impressed with, too. So hopefully it converts to some wins.
Cole Hodge, a quarterback commit, of course, and I asked John David Baker yesterday about Alex Flynn, and it still seems to me holding up in the air. I don't know if you know anything as far as Alex Flynn playing or not playing next year.
Yeah, I think he's still making a decision, and he might even go through spring ball and then kind of make a decision from there. But, I mean, look, he's going to help whatever room he's in, whether he's playing or not. So, I hope he does decide to do it. But he's also going to be like a doctor one day, so he might have bigger and better things to move on to.
Yeah, and I don't know, you can speak to it more so than I, but you were certainly the leader on offense, and not the only leader of the team, but you had a presence. I think guys would go to war for you and trust you. You need that at the quarterback position. And I'm outside looking in. I didn't see that really with Alex, with his demeanor, and I don't know if Mason had it either. I just feel like we were maybe lacking in that department. What's your thoughts on that?
I think anytime you run a 2-quarterback system, it's hard for one guy to just take over.
Yeah.
Because if he was taking over on the field, then he'd be starting the full time. And then look, I mean, Flynn went into the year as the backup, and he's never, when I was there, he never really got reps, so he kind of got thrown into that role. And
he's playing in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, in front of 107,000. Third drive of the game, or third drive of the season. Look, anytime you have 2 quarterbacks, like I said, it's gonna be hard for one guy to take over, but you would like for someone to, and obviously, that wasn't the case this year. And I think Rajay did a good job of leading him and a couple of others, but you got to have a leader at quarterback. That's where it starts.
Yeah, and hopefully that and this ECU offense can catch up with the defense. To see Antoine Jackson entering the transfer portal, Taylor Jackson as well. But you would think this defense is going to come back and be pretty solid next year, especially Blake Harrell sticks around.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I think Coach Harrell's here for the next year. I think if he would have got a new job, it would have already happened.
Right.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But we hopefully our defense continues to play the way they do, and our new OC and some of these new transfers come in and turn the offense around. It'd be a fun season.
I like the way John David Baker talks about this, because we talked about it earlier in the show. Mike Houston, I don't know if he's got a hot seat, but needs to win after a down year last year. And John David Baker in his press conference said this is not a rebuilding thing. This is hey, I've got 6 months to figure this out and put an offense on the field. Sounds like there's a sense of urgency.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I think so. And I think, they're not dumb. They know they got to win this year. And look, I mean, we had a good thing going, but you go 2-10 anywhere in the country, you're going to be on the hot seat a little bit. And, I love Coach Houston. I think he's a great coach and will win here and will win next year. But with this conference, I mean, ECU has all the resources to go out there and win, and hopefully we do next year.
Pike, speaking of coaching, says, Holton, what path would you need to take to become an offensive coordinator at ECU? Well, Pike, he's still playing right now. Let's chill on that. Any interest in coaching down the line?
Yeah, I've had some talks with some coaches, and including Coach Houston, about coaching at ECU. So maybe down the road when you decide to hang it up, I'll get into it. But I think I would love that job and love that life. So maybe if I can start down low and work my way up, we'll have to see.
And you've got somewhat, speaking of experience, with camps, with training, I know for a fact there's kids that text you and stuff, and so you've kind of already got a little foot in the door there training younger guys, right?
Yeah. I mean, I train guys there in high school now too. I mean, I have trained with some of the best quarterback coaches in the world. Really, I mean, the guy that I train with out of QB country trains 15 starting NFL quarterbacks. He's probably the best quarterback trainer in the world, if not top 2. And, learning from him, I literally lived, in Mobile for 3 months, learning from him, literally learning, the strength side of it, the flexibility side of it, not just the quarterback side, and then the mental side too. I think if the time came, there's been some serious discussions about, getting into coaching when my career is done with, and there was a debate whether to get into coaching now and not even play in the UFL. So, those conversations have already kind of started, and, there will be a decision whenever I'm done playing, if I want to get into coaching or not.
And you're already, getting your name out there, creating some pathways and things like that. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Holton, could you answer that with the number one attribute for a quarterback that there's so many things with arm strength and accuracy and leadership, and what stands out the most to you? You can name a few if you want, but
I think physically wise, you got to be accurate, and at least a little bit. And you can definitely get better with accuracy. And I've heard guys say you can't get more accurate or anything like that. Well, I think that's a lie. I got way more accurate throughout my career working on fundamentals and tighten up some things, but I just think, a baseline of accuracy and then arm strength you can work on too, but then mental side of it, you got to be a hard worker. You got to be the hardest worker. You got to be a leader. You got to have heart, and guys you got to have guys that want to follow you. If you're not a quarterback at your high school and guys aren't following you, then you're probably not going to be do that good of it in college when the going gets tough.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder in college. So those are just a few.
Yeah, and you experienced some adversity, maybe more than you even wanted to, but helped you get stronger at the end, and certainly had guys leading. Shirley, do we have another break to take? We do. All right, let's take that break. Something you guys won't have to worry about on the podcast, right?
Yeah,
you guys
going straight on, full hour.
The Holton Ahlers Show debuting next Thursday. Excited about that. We'll take a timeout, come back, and wrap it up with Holt after this.
Here at Papa John's, we know our stuff. So try our newest cheesy calzone epic stuffed crust pizza. Made with a blend of ricotta and mozzarella, hand stuffed into that Papa John's fresh, never frozen, original dough. Get it for a limited time only at Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates!
Hi, I'm Christy Conway.
And I'm Tracy Ayers.
And we are the co-owners of ENC Pirate Realty, and we want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We have set out to change the real estate experience in Eastern North Carolina and look forward to working with you on your next real estate transaction. Whether buying, selling, or renting, our trained family of professionals are here to find you the right place to live.
Visit us at encpiraterealty.com today. Happy holidays from ENC Pirate Realty, and go Pirates!
Go Pirates!
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Good news, business travelers. PGV and American Airlines has added a new early morning flight available now. Book today at aa.com and be on time for that connection in Charlotte. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American flights perfect for your next trip. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
Greetings, friends of Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and a multitude of advancement opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,500 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. We are currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facility staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities for our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health initiatives, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead.
Saturdays are your day to kick back, relax, and have fun. That's why Ottavola Market Cafe is the perfect place to go for dinner, drinks, and takeout. Ottavola is open every Saturday at 4 p.m. on the bar side, serving a special selection of menu favorites of appetizers, pastas, and specialty pizzas. Whether it's dine-in, takeout, or drinks with friends, Ottavola is the best choice every Saturday starting at 4 o'clock. Visit OttavolaMarket.com to see what's new, and visit Ottavola on Red Banks Road every Saturday starting at 4. Ottavola, Pirates supporting Pirates.
Hey, I'm Holton Ahlers. No one knows better than me how important it is as a quarterback to have protection on the field to be successful. My frontline team is critical to my success. For your frontline insurance protection, you need the team at Buck Insurance Agency. Buck Insurance Agency is your local team and have been helping customers like you for over 30 years with their insurance needs. When you need insurance protection, you'll get the whole team with Brian Buck and his staff. Call toll free at 877-357-1966. Go Pirates.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
This is Amanda Houston, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Go Pirates!
Well, I got a little change in my pockets going zing-a-ling-a-ling. Wants to call you up on the telephone, baby, and wants to give you a ring, but each time...
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. It was a slow day for the stock market. The Dow was down 284 points at 37,430. The NASDAQ was down 173 points at 14,572. And the S&P was down 38 at 4,704. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors Stock Market Report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, back with you, Pirate Radio Live. We've really got to do more to raise awareness for left-handed quarterbacks as a people. Because I asked Holton, I said, there's Tua. There's got to be more than that. And Holton says no, it was him and Tua. And that was it.
Yeah. Now there's Tua.
Now there's Tua. There was two, and now there's Tua. And that's it. Robert, getting in a last-minute question here. Holton, what was the toughest American Athletic Conference defense you faced? Question one.
Cincinnati, when Sauce Gardner was there, it was pretty tough.
Yeah. Although you and CJ picked on Kobe Bryant pretty big one day.
We did. Kobe Bryant was one of my teammates in Seattle, so I let him hear it a few times.
That was awesome. And he also said fastest D, best D line you faced. How about best D line you faced in college?
That's a good one. Probably Houston. 2021, they had a really good D-line, then really underrated. They had a couple NFL guys on it, so probably them. Cincinnati always had good D-lines. They had a good couple. I played them in like their prime years when they made the playoff and stuff, but probably Houston 2021.
I want to say that was the night the Braves beat the Dodgers to advance to the World Series, and the night that y'all's game got suspended for so long. Is that the Houston game?
Yeah.
That was a weird night because, well, A, it was awesome watching the Braves do that and get to the World Series, and B, you guys were right there with Houston and should have won the game, right?
Yeah, we should have won. We, I think we even went into overtime. Yeah, it did go into overtime.
Ryan Jones fumbled, I believe,
like
in
a
OT.
jet sweep to him. So we could have beat him. We should have beat him, but yeah.
Holton, great to walk down memory lane with you, and looking forward to the Holton Ahlers show coming up next Thursday on Pirate Radio TV on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. We'll air it here on Pirate Radio. I know you're excited, and congratulations on continuing your football career as well in the UFL.
I appreciate it. It's been fun coming on, and looking forward to the future, looking forward to the podcast.
Awesome stuff. Holton Ahlers joining us here inside the Pirate Radio studios. We will talk to you fine people coming up Thursday, 3 o'clock on an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. Jacob Jenkins Cowart, among others, going to join us on the program. So we'll talk some Pirate baseball as we are nearing another ECU baseball season. For Shirley Rhodes, Chan Man, Glenn, and the crew here, I am Clip Brock. We'll talk to you Thursday. Jeff Charles, take us home.
Have a great night, Eastern Carolina.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is